Are you on mute, El Selector?
Yeah, I hear you now, bro. I was
Bro,
wondering.
we can't hear you, bro. Bro, we can't hear you.
Oh, you guys can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
You're on mute, man.
Am I am I on mute now? You hear me now?
Yo, bro, we can't hear you.
Oh, you guys can't hear me? I don't know what's
Can
going
y'all
on there.
hear El Selector?
Hold up one sec. Hold up. Give me a minute. I'm gonna be right back, all right?
Bro, you're on mute.
Am I on mute? Can you guys hear me now? I don't know, man.
Yo, El Selector, you're on mute. No one can hear you.
Nah, they said that we can hear him. You hear that? Nah, you guys
What?
can't hear me?
All right,
I don't know.
hold up. What's going on? Why
Yeah,
can't I hear you?
I don't know. Anyone in the comment section, you guys hear me?
Hey, what's going on? I can't hear you, El Selector.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Can you guys hear me? What the? Hey, we back. We back. I can hear you guys. We back. We back.
Okay.
Hey.
Passport, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. I can hear you.
All right.
Hey, what is up, you guys? I'm international. Hey, your background, El Selector, your background is a bit.
You guys can hear my background?
Yeah.
Okay. How's it sound now?
A bit better, but we can still hear your background.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, turn on the mic. How's it sound now?
Yeah, it's better.
All right.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry about the technical difficulties there, but I'm
Hey,
good.
no worries. For you guys joining the chat, first of all, hit the like button. We got 11 people here. I want to see 11 likes. Hit that like button. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Come on. Let's push it to 11 likes. We want to get the message out to brothers out there around the world. The second live stream of the week, I brought in a good brother of mine, El Selector. So the guy got in touch with me on Instagram saying that, bro, you're speaking about Vancouver, but what about Montreal? He's telling me that Montreal, Canada is a hotspot for brothers. El Selector, can you break it down as to why brothers should go to Montreal, Canada to get foreign women, and how are brothers treated there in Montreal, Canada? The floor is yours.
Yeah, most definitely. All right. So I'm El Selector from Toronto.
Hey, hold up. Hey, your mic, man. Everyone's saying your mic's a bit off, El Selector. Can you
Is it
fix
off?
that, please?
Hold up 1 second. All right, hold up 1 second. All right, how's the mic sounding now?
Can y'all hear him properly now? Jack Hove, Big Task, ATHAND. Can y'all, hey, you got problems with my mic, El Selector. Can you fix it?
Okay, how's it sounding now? Is it sounding much better now?
Yeah, a bit better. Your background's a bit disturbing, but
Okay, is it a little bit disturbing? Okay,
yeah.
give me 2 minutes. Let me switch the mic. I'm gonna come right back and I'll have everything cleared. All right.
All right. El Selector's gonna fix his mic, guys. But how y'all doing? Jack Hove, I saw you yesterday, bro. You were putting in work. Appreciate that, Jack Hove. Call in if you want to. Shout out to Big Task, ATHAND. Shout out to Sonic Strains. Who else is in the chat? We got Bernie, the big bro. Shout out to you too. Delano, shout out to you too. This is going to be a classic live stream. Not too bad. How y'all doing, man? How's your week going so far, brothers? What y'all up to? Not bad. If y'all want to call in, you'll be able to call in 1 hour's time. So that would be 2 a.m. my time. I'm not sure where you guys are around the world, but 1 hour's time, I'll bring in more callers. I'll share the link around. A big task. I'm gonna put you on blast. Big task. He's saying that one of his exes is from Montreal. Real talk. Where was she from? What race? Robert Tatum just bought a lot of Bitcoin. That's what's up. That's what's up. I love hearing brothers expand, making money. Um, it's not just about women. It's about brothers making that money too, and increasing their wealth. Stocks, crypto, foreign women. That's the wave. That's the movement in 2021. You guys follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna post my link here. If y'all have any questions,
All right,
follow me
I'm
on
back
Twitter.
now. I'm back now. Do you guys hear me? Am I nice and clear? International talk to me.
Your volume's a bit low. Can you speak a bit louder?
Yeah. So how's it sound now?
Better.
All right.
Yes.
All
So
right.
if you guys join in the chat right now, I have El Selector. The brother got in touch with me on Instagram saying that it's not just Vancouver that's a hotspot for brothers. It's Montreal, Canada. El Selector, break it down in the simplest terms possible with as much detail. Why
Okay.
is Montreal, Canada a hotspot for brothers?
So yes, I'm El Selector. I am from Toronto, Canada. So Montreal is about 5 hours away from Toronto. Driving out there, Montreal is a party city. For those who don't know, Montreal has a francophone population. So francophone is basically French-speaking individuals. So they have a lot of European or Europeans that came over from Europe to France and migrated back hundreds of years ago. They also got a lot of immigrants that came over from a lot of French-speaking populations and French-speaking countries as well, and just people from different types of nationalities and backgrounds that came over there. So Montreal has a huge population, and it's a melting pot. It is very similar to a European city, so you get a lot of a European type style environment out there. Very different from Vancouver, British Columbia. So where Vancouver got a huge population of Caucasians and Asians and South Asians, where Montreal got a population of a whole different types of demographics. So as far as Montreal goes, Montreal is the number one city in Canada for partying. So if you're looking to party and whatnot, Montreal is the hot spot to go to. Everybody knows that. It's world renowned. They do got a lot of festivals such as they have festivals such as the Grand Prix Festival, and they got a whole bunch of other types of like concert festivals and whatnot that a lot of people do attend around the world. As far as the women are very feminine over there. I believe
Wait,
it's due to the yeah,
before you go any further,
yeah.
um, fix your mic up. Fix your mic up a bit, El Selector. We're
Okay.
hearing a bit of noise
Are you hearing noise? Okay.
in the background noise.
How's it sound now?
Go to somewhere a bit quiet
Okay,
in
a
your
bit quiet. 1 second.
because the background's a bit distracting. But you guys join the chat right now. El Selector just said that Montreal women are crazy feminine. This is going to be a classic live stream. Don't go anywhere. Mad
Yes.
game will be dropped here. All right, you
Okay,
back?
so yeah, so how does it sound now?
Much better. All right, carry on. You were saying how Montreal women are feminine. Break it down, brother. Break it down.
Okay, so due to the fact that I suspect due to the fact of a lot of Montreal and the way they go about things over there, it is a French speaking country first. So they do have a lot of European old school values over there in Montreal. So you're gonna get a lot of feminine women out there. While I was out there 2019 going into 2020. So basically for a friend's birthday party. So he was having a party on New Year's Day because he's born on January 1st. So we went out there to go celebrate. While going out there to celebrate, I was mesmerized by what I was seeing over there. A lot of the women out there are very feminine. The way they dress, the way they go about things, the way they talk to you, very, very, very respectful, I must say. I didn't get no disrespect out there from any type of women. I actually got a lot of stares and looks. A lot of women were very interested. They noticed I wasn't from that area over there. Even though there's a lot of people that do go back and forth from Toronto, I've been hearing guys from Toronto for years talking about, oh, Montreal, they hadn't out there to go party. They're like, it's the party central. I've had guys from New York tell me that, guys from Michigan, guys from a lot of different places. They'd be like, yeah, Montreal, they love it out there. They enjoy it. They have a great time out there. So I had to go check it out for myself. So while going out there, I noticed a lot of things. I noticed a lot of interracial couples out there. So, I guess I don't know if it's that Kim Kardashian effect or whatever the case may be, but you do see a lot of Caucasian females and Black brothers walking up and down the streets together, holding hands, talking, kissing. You see a lot of Black women as well with a lot of Caucasian guys, but a lot of Black guys with a lot of Black girls as well. So there's a lot of that going on over there as well too. But one thing I can sit down here and say is the women over there are very, very feminine. So when you go up to a woman, you approach a woman, I would say 9 times out of 10, she's going to at least be very respectful, speak to you, have a great conversation, and you take it from there. If you want her number, you can ask. If you're looking for directions, you can ask for directions. But one thing is over there, the ladies over there do cooperate. They do look you in the eyes. They're very respectful. And there is a lot of women out there. So you have a lot of pickings. If you're a Black guy out there, get out there. You start maybe, I don't know. You want to figure out how do I work the landscape out here? I would suggest the first thing you should do when coming to Montreal is this. Before you even get to Montreal, get on your Tinder. You see what I'm saying? Get on the Tinder, get on your Bumble, whatever. Get on the Passport or whatever they got going on over there and start swiping. Once you start swiping, you start seeing what you see what's out there. Just see what's out there. Start swiping. You're gonna get some matches. Just let the ladies know, hey, I'm coming to your city. I'm from blase. I'm coming out there. I'm gonna be out there for some time. So I just want to know what's up. Like ask her for a number, see what's going on, and from there you take it there. You see what I'm saying? So once you touch down, you'll be able to start cooking up something with these ladies out there.
That's what's up. So you're saying in Montreal, a lot of brothers have options there. So I'm talking African American brothers, UK brothers, Canadian brothers, loads of options amongst the women there in Montreal. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. I know, like prime example, you right here, you're a British guy. So you coming from London or you might be from Brixton or wherever you're from. You see what I'm saying? So once you get out there, you're going to be like, okay, a lot of the girls are going to notice, okay, this guy's not from here. So a lot of girls are going to ask you, hey, where are you from? You're going to be like, okay, I'm from London. They'll be like, oh, wow. Already, just because of that alone, that builds interest. What happens is, you're basically fresh meat there. Nobody else is from London out there. So you're basically one of one. So it brings a lot of intrigue. A lot of women are going to be like, okay, wow. Interesting. So they're going to be intrigued by you. And then that's where they're going to be like, okay, you know what? They're going to start engaging and trying to figure out what's up. They're going to see who is this guy and what does he bring to the table? And they're going to be intrigued. Everybody's intrigued by something different, especially the women. So it's not hard at all, man. I'm telling you right now, a lot of guys, Montreal is close to Vermont. Quebec is close to Vermont and New York City. So a lot of guys from New York City, Toronto, and the surrounding areas, New Jersey and whatnot, go out there. There's a special weekend called Grand Prix. That's where they have the Formula One race car thing going on. A lot of people come from all over with their cars and just to go out there and party. A lot of girls out there are going out there to do a lot of different kinds of things. They want to meet different kinds of guys. Summertime in Montreal is the hottest time to go out there, like by far. I would say anywhere between from May all the way till I would say roughly around October after Halloween. Those are some of the hottest times to go to Montreal because you're going to start to meet a lot of people. A lot of people are outside. They have a great patio life out there. So a lot of people like to go to restaurants and eat. So you can go out there and meet a lot of women just on the street, maybe sitting down in a Starbucks or at a coffee shop, maybe sipping on some tea or having a crepe, and just you can sit back, you can go over there, sit back, see a beautiful woman you like, approach her and kick off a conversation. You're not going to have any issues out there. I'm telling you right now, a lot of guys say, oh, Canada, Canada got a lot of feminist stuff going on over there. Yes, they do. But I'll tell you right now, if you go to the two cities that you see the least amount of feminist stuff going on is Montreal and Vancouver. Those are the two cities. Every guy knows that.
Whoa,
Every guy knows that.
wow. So you're saying Montreal and Vancouver, there's very little feminism there for brothers to go to and get women. Hardly any feminism there. Is
Yeah,
that what you're saying? Okay.
yeah. I would say that it does. Of course, it's there, right? I'm not going to pretend like it's non-existent, right? That's going to be there, right? That's just the climate we live in. But don't wrap your head around it. Don't even think about it. You're not going to be hit by a Me Too out there. You see what I'm saying? As long as you have your game and you have, your swag right, and you got your mind right, you'll be okay out there. As long you just got to be out there. You got to be genuine. You got to keep it 100. And I guarantee you'll have great results out there. They have a lot of excellent nightclubs out there. Lavoots, New City Gas, what else ones? People. There's a whole bunch of nightclubs out there that you can go out there. St. Laurent Street, St. Catherine Street. They got bars. They got everything out there. It looks like a European city, so it doesn't look like Vancouver. So when you go out there, the climate and everything is kind of different throughout the whole entire Quebec. You're going to see a lot of French-speaking words. The further out you go in Quebec, you're going to start seeing less people speak French. But one thing is, Montreal and Quebec as a whole has a European vibe to it. So you're not going to get like that, Toronto or that New York City style type, vibe going on over there where, you're going to get a totally different kind of vibe out there. And those who've been to like Europe and stuff like that, you'll start to even see the resemblance. You see what I'm saying?
That's what's up. So, in terms of the demographics in Montreal, what race of women are checking for brothers the most in Montreal? Like races of women that brothers can get easily in Montreal, in your experience and based on what you've heard. What's the answer to that?
Okay. As far as the race of women, depends how the guy looks, right? I always tell guys presentation is so important, right? So you got to make sure that you come out there presentable. You got to dress fresh, get a nice clean cut, or shape up or however you style your hair. Make sure you take care of your body. But if you're a decent looking dude and you got your you're on point, you got a sharp tongue and you'll be able to get things done. As far as the race, I would say a lot of black women and white women are checking for brothers out there. Put it as that. If you're on point, you're good. I had no problems out there. And trust me, I've had my share of women from Montreal that have come over to Toronto too. And they always cooperate. They've always taken care of me. Every time they come out to the city, they're checking for me. And when I went out there, the women were checking for me as well. We had no problems out there at all. The women were cooperating, black and white. If you like white women, Caucasians, Montreal, you'll enjoy yourself out there. If you love party girls, because Montreal is the number one party city in Canada, you'll enjoy yourself out there. If you like black women, you like black women from different parts of the Caribbean, black Canadian women, some of them that came from like Nova Scotia and came down to Montreal. If you like black African women, like from Congo and different parts, they're all there. If you like white women from Armenia or from Europe, or white Canadian women, Francophone women from Quebec City and Laval and different parts of Quebec, they're all there. If you like white women from Ottawa as well, they travel over to Montreal. They live out there as well. They love it out there too. So, and they love brothers out there. Best believe they love brothers out there, especially if your brother coming from somewhere else, you're going to do well out there. As long as you got your stuff on point, you're A1.
I got a question for you from Big Task ATH, and he's saying, what about Asian women? So I'm going to break it down to two questions actually. What type of Asian women are there in Montreal? Is it Japanese, Chinese, Philippines, whatever? And are they checking for brothers in Montreal? And give us the honest truth here. Are they checking for brothers, and what type of Asian women are there in Montreal?
So, okay, as far as Asian women go, I'm going to tell you straight up. If you're looking for Asian women, I wouldn't say Montreal is the place to go to. Go to Vancouver. Vancouver is loaded with Asian women. If you want Asian women, go to Vancouver. Montreal is for guys who love girls who look like Kim Kardashian, girls who look like Paris Hilton, girls who look like big booty. If you like some big booty black girls or tall, sexy, feminine looking black girls, Montreal's that. If you like some Latinos, they got some Dominican girls out there. They got
Ooh,
yeah, they got some girls from Peru. They got women out there. If you're looking for those kind of women, that's where Montreal's at.
okay, wait. So the Asian women there in Montreal right now, what's the highest demographic there of Asian women in Montreal? And are they checking for brothers, even though it might be a small amount? Are those small amount of Asian women checking for brothers in Montreal?
Honestly, when I was out there partying and whatnot, I didn't see any Asian women. I did not. All I saw was white women and black women. So as far as Asian women go, I don't really know. What I saw there was there's a university around there called Concordia University. It's like in the downtown hub. What I saw there was a lot of Asian international students, so foreign exchange students. So you can get a lot of them from Hong Kong and those areas over there out in China. But as far as Asian women as a whole, I would advise you to go to Vancouver.
Okay, before I actually move on to Vancouver, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about women from Peru, Dominica, possibly Colombia, possibly Brazil. They all come to Montreal. Okay, that's cool. But are they checking for brothers, those type of women?
Yes, they're checking for brothers.
Ooh,
Yes, they are. And the reason why I say this is this because currently, as you know, right now on this planet, right, popular culture is black culture. So a lot of girls, that Kim Kardashian Kanye effect, they just got divorced the other day, but a lot of sisters and well, not sisters, but a lot of other females from other demographics and other races all have that, that thought in their mind of like, okay, they that image of, having being with a black guy is real cool and whatnot. So a lot of those women definitely have that, that itch to get with one of the brothers. You see what I'm saying? So basically what you're going to get is a lot of women out there that are going to be cooperating with the brothers just because due to the fact that it's very hot and it's hot right now. It's popular. It's trendy. It's like the thing right now. So that's why a lot of brothers should go out to this place right here, Montreal. If you're looking to have a great time, if you're looking to party and whatnot, Montreal is definitely the place you got to head out to. Experience it once. I would advise most people to go out there during the hot times, going out there during the summertime. So anywhere between May going into October-ish during Halloween, because Halloween's real hot out there, a lot of parties, a lot of girls dressing up, a lot of girls just, having the time of their lives. So definitely around that time for anything else. It's cold, it's tons of snow. You're gonna enjoy yourself when you go out and party and whatnot, but once the girls leave that club, you better do all your work inside of that nightclub. Everything has to be done in that nightclub, or you better be on your apps, or you better be in the shopping malls or in the boutiques and whatnot, just trying to bag some of the girls that are working in there and on the street. But let me tell you something. A lot of girls, due to the fact that the weather is very cold, they're not really in that talking mood kind of per se, just because it's so cold and whatnot. They're just kind of like trying to get where they need to get and go. You get where I'm coming from?
yeah. So in Montreal, do they approach brothers there? Do good-looking women approach brothers there in Montreal?
Yes, they do actually. If you're an attractive guy, I've seen, especially coming in, going into the club or leaving the club. I had that experience where, a female was coming up to me, telling me, "Hey, you're a tall guy, et cetera, et cetera. I find you real attractive, blase, blase." So that does happen.
That's what's up. The girl who approached you, what race was she?
She looked like she was a mixed female, so she could have been like maybe Moroccan and black or something around those lines.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Guys, if you're new to my stream, hit that like button right now. We have L Selector dropping mad game about how brothers are treated in Montreal, Canada. The brother has broke it down precisely. Hit that button, hit that like button. Let's get this video out to many brothers out there um, in the world. I have Amara Chroma, a good brother of mine, in the stream as well. Amara, do you want to ask our selector any questions before I move on to Vancouver?
Hey, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
can
I
hear
hear
you.
Hey, Al Selector, is that your name?
Yeah,
How long were you there for?
I was there 2019, so basically throughout a weekend out there, a week and a weekend out there. So like roughly around the weekday going into the weekend, and then I left. But it was for New Year's. It was a friend's birthday party out there.
Do you speak any French?
A few words. So that tells you a lot right there.
Because you know how in Paris, like, the reason why we don't really talk about France is because when you go to Paris, like, if you don't speak French, like, people don't really treat you nicely. And you didn't feel that effect at all in Montreal?
No, the reason why you don't feel that effect in Montreal is because pretty much in Montreal, French is the first language, but English is the second language. So once you leave the province of Montreal, the province of Quebec, and you go anywhere else, very few people start speaking French. You might get little communities of Francophone people that migrated to maybe New Brunswick or Northern Ontario or certain parts of maybe even Southern Ontario or even to other parts of Canada. But as far as you need to learn how to speak English in Canada, like you're not gonna get nothing done in Canada without English. Majority of the population speaks English. So in Montreal, virtually everybody out there who's, I would say, roughly between 40 going down to damn near childhood age, you need to learn. They will teach you how to speak English. So English is common and it's mandatory out there. If you want to even go out there and get jobs and do certain things, English is very important.
That's what's up, our selector. What's up, you guys? If you're new to my stream, I have 31 viewers right now. Hit that like button. I want to see 31 likes right now on my stream. This is free game we're giving you, brothers. Yesterday, we gave you guys stock game, crypto game, intel about foreign women. Hit that like button. Let's get this video out there to many brothers. Don't make me angry, guys. Hit that like button, okay? This is free game we're giving you. And all we're asking for is likes. Hit that like button, all right? Stop acting up. Hit the like button and let's get this video out there. Shout out to Saying Games. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, mate. How are you?
Hey, not too bad, not too bad. Where you from, Saying Games, and how did you find my channel, bro?
Oh man, dude, I found your channel a while back, actually, like a few years ago. And I'm from the Bronx, from New York City.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. So we're talking about how brothers are treated in Montreal. The brother L Selector broke it down very plainly as to how brothers are treated there in Montreal. From what I hear so far, it's very good. And I've got a question for you, L Selector. Vancouver, I preach Vancouver to brothers. I tell brothers to, if you get your passports, the first country you should go to is Vancouver, Canada. Tell us how brothers are treated there. You know how I feel about Vancouver, but in your experience, how were you treated there? And what race of women gave you more play? And speak on Asian women as well in Vancouver, because a lot of brothers I'm seeing nowadays have a preference for Asian women. So Vancouver is a hotspot for brothers. I want to hear your opinion on Vancouver, L Selector.
Okay, so as far as Vancouver goes, whenever I've gone to Vancouver, it was more for work-related purposes. So as far as the women go, okay, the women in Vancouver, you're going to get predominantly an Asian and Caucasian, so white population out there, and South Asian. So you're going to get a lot of Sikhs and Punjabi people from in that Vancouver core. So that's what you're going to get predominantly. You're not going to see no Dominican Republic girls from the Dominican Republic or girls from. You're not going to see that many black people either out there. If you see any black people, it's mostly like would you say like I guess new immigrants from like maybe like Africa and stuff like that, you know. So you're not really seeing any black people out there. You're not gonna see any like there's no black communities and none of that stuff out there. So what happens is when you come from another place out there, a lot of the women in Vancouver don't really get in contact with that many black people. So basically it's like you're like very similar to Montreal, but this is a little bit different because in Montreal they do have black people out there. They got black people who've been there for forever now. But out there, when you come from like prime example, like say some guys come from Seattle because Seattle's over there, or they come from LA, or they come from maybe some of the brothers come from Portland, Oregon, or you know, New York. If they fly out there, they're one of one. So a lot of females are going to be itching to even try them or see what's up with them or get to know them. They just want it. They want that different experience. When you're a black guy and you go places where you're one of one and there's not anyone else like you, or there may be very few guys like you out there, a lot of women become intrigued because immediately they're thinking, oh, wow. You see what I'm saying? Especially, okay, prime example, international passport over here. He's from Britain. So a lot of women are like, wow. The only time they ever see British guys is like maybe like Idris Elba or some soccer player. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of women tend to gravitate towards guys, especially brothers in Vancouver. The Asian women out there, there's a lot of them. And let me tell you something too. Vancouver, due to the fact that they got a lot of mountains and whatnot over there, and it's just the climate over there is totally different compared to where I'm at right now. A lot of the women out there tend to work out. So you're not going to find obesity, or you're not going to find girls out there with, kind of like a messed up mindset, or just something's going on with them. You're not going to find a lot of that. You're going to find a lot of girls that kind of level-headed. They understand who they are. They come from different backgrounds. A lot of them may have good upbringings and whatnot. And a lot of them are into fitness. So you're going to find a lot of fit women out in the Vancouver, British Columbia area over there. Throughout British Columbia, you're going to find a lot of women that are in excellent shape. You don't really see a lot of fat women out there. So as far as how they treat brothers, a lot of the women out there, they treat brothers very good. They take care of a lot of the guys. I've known several guys that have moved out there who dated women in Vancouver, and they've had great experiences. They haven't said anything bad about them. Women from British Columbia tend to cherish. I guess they have a different way of life out there, so they tend to cherish what they have over there, and they tend to just love and appreciate the men that are in their lives. For whatever reason, I don't know, but a lot of guys have a lot of positive things that I've heard and have been said about women out in that Vancouver area. Vancouver is definitely like the guy says in the comment section, they have a lot of blondes out there. I even once heard Pusha T even say something about the level of Caucasian women out there. Like the women are just like, the Caucasian women are just on a higher level out there. Maybe it's because of fitness culture or what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe the water out there. I just don't know what it is. It's like Brazil. Nobody knows why the women are so hot out there.
The water out there.
But it is what it is. It's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy, you know?
Saying games, do you have any questions regarding Montreal and Vancouver?
Man, honestly, not really, because like I've actually watched like all of your vids on YouTube. My favorite vid is probably gonna have to be the your video talking about Estonia, like how the females out there treat us their brothers in Tallinn, Estonia, just like everywhere. It's really crazy that we as brothers, we get more love overseas than in our own country. Like It's crazy.
That's facts. That's why I preach passport to brothers who watch my channel. Right now, the goal is simple: invest in stocks, invest in crypto, get your passports to meet foreign women. We got El Selector back in the stream again. El Selector. So, out of Montreal and Vancouver, what's better, in your opinion?
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a very tough question.
Speak up,
Okay.
speak up, speak up.
Yeah, I was saying that's a very tough question right there.
Yeah.
Honestly, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for more of a laid back kind of vibe and you're looking for somewhere it's kind of chill, relax, a lot of water out there, I would say go to Vancouver. If you're looking for a hardcore partying, you want to turn up, you want to enjoy yourself, you want to, potentially get laid that night in the club, or just go to Montreal. You're gonna trust me. You're gonna enjoy yourself in Montreal. Montreal is the place to be. Like it's a party city. Like it's number one ranked in Canada. It's number one ranked.
Really?
Moving to Montreal, would you recommend brothers to move to Montreal?
Ooh, okay. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you straight like this. If you're Montreal is a place you can move to. Ideally, though, I think you're gonna potentially have some sort of difficulties just because of the fact that French is the first language. So
Right.
over time, you're gonna probably, they're gonna ask you when maybe if you're looking for a job out there. If you're working from online, you don't have to even basically spend. You don't have to work with other people from the Montreal, from the Quebec people and whatnot, and you basically just work from your company or whatever you do online. Montreal is a good place to live just because of the cost. The cost is very, very affordable. The cost of living is cheap out there. It's not like, and on top of that, if you come from okay, one guy's from the Bronx, so he's using USD. International, you're from the UK, so you're using the pound. Those currencies those currencies trump the Canadian dollar. You see what I'm saying? So your money's going to stretch. Your money's going to go a lot more farther. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Hey, that sounds great. Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
brothers hearing that? A lot of brothers telling me that they're tired of America. They're tired of whatever country they live in. Montreal, Canada could be a place for you guys to move to. If you have your money right, if you have your business right, if you invest in stocks, invest in crypto, you might have enough money to move to Montreal, Canada and enjoy all the beautiful women over there. Mad game being dropped by El Selector. Amara Chroma, do you have a question for El Selector? Amara. I think Amara's have. Oh yeah, do you have a question for El Selector?
Are you able to hear me right now?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll Selector. What would you say between Vancouver and Montreal? Like if you had to choose one place to be?
You said that already. You answered it already.
Okay, well, I guess if I had to choose one place, I would basically say, I'd probably say Vancouver just because of the weather. That snow in Montreal,
Oh, yeah?
man, I'm telling you, when it snows out there, it snows out there. Like I'm talking about like it snows out there. So the weather is an issue out there, I must say. If you don't have a problem with the winter, then you shouldn't have. Then Montreal would be a great place to live. But if you don't want to deal with that winter, you don't want to deal with that snow, go to Vancouver.
That's what's up. Hey, mad intel. Oof.
Vancouver. Awesome.
You got a question, Sayan?
Oh man. Well, me being the kind of person that I am, me being a brother, who's into like nerdy shit and stuff, and also into fitness. You said that there were like there are a lot of fit females out there in Montreal and Vancouver.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. I would say the fitness game in both cities are very high compared to other places. Like trust me, I've been to, like, I used to stay out in Texas at one point. I'm in Houston. It's just like, you know,
Right.
so it's just like I've seen the fitness game out there in Vancouver. I would say just edges Montreal, but Montreal women
Jesus.
are very fit. They are fit. You're gonna see your 1-2 BBWs out there. You see what I'm saying? But for the most part,
Right.
though, a lot of girls out in Montreal do take care of themselves. As far as Vancouver's just, like I said, it's high level out there. You know, it's like going to Brazil. You know, you just, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, what the
Just
water out there,
Jesus.
what it is, but everything is. You know, you go to Rio de Janeiro, like it's on
Right.
some high level type stuff going on over there. You know.
Hey, that's what's up. Appreciate that intel regarding Montreal, Canada. Anyone in the chat, do you have any question at all for El Selector before I move on to the next topic? Write it right now.
Yeah, you guys have any questions on Toronto? I can give you guys some intel on Toronto. You guys,
Yeah,
if
what's
you
the
want.
intel in Toronto actually? Because from what I've heard, right, a lot of brothers tell me that it's very similar to London, but feminism there has completely ruined the mind of women. The women there are not feminine. They're not that good looking. What's happening over there? You can give us a breakdown on Toronto,
Yeah.
and also Fiction Mike guys. Saying games, or Selector Fiction Mike guys. Go to a nice background, get some nice connection. People can't hear you, so please fix that.
Oh, jeez, yeah, my Wi-Fi is terrible.
Okay, so do you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay, as far as Toronto goes, okay, Toronto, feminism in Toronto is, if I had to rate it out of a scale from 1 to 10, I would say it's probably like an 8. So it's really high out here. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what happened. I would say maybe the last 10 years, because I'll tell you right now, I'll tell you straight up, I didn't even start realizing it until actually a female from Montreal told me. She was like the first, I don't want to say her name, but she was the first woman. This was many years ago, a girl that I met out in Toronto. She was the first woman to tell me that the women in Toronto are, something's wrong with them. Something's going on. Something's wrong with them. This is a girl that I do a lot of things with. You see what I'm saying? We'll say that. But she was telling me straight up, something's
Right.
wrong with, yeah, she
Right.
says something's wrong with the women out there. There's a lot of fat girls, a lot of girls that have messed up mindsets. They think they're hotter than what they are. So I never really had a problem with girls, to be honest with you, just because, I'm a tall dude, and I keep myself looking all right. You see what I'm saying? So I don't have no issues with women. I take care of myself. I used to play basketball and whatnot, so I don't really have, I go to gym, so I don't really have too many problems with girls. But I do see there's a lot of girls here have an attitude problem. A lot of girls here kind of are, they're on some finessing tips, so you have to be very careful with that. A lot of them are into, like, I guess celebrities and whatnot. They idolize celebrities out here and whatnot. So a lot of girls try to, I guess, emulate them, but they have no substance. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's very empty. But Toronto, you can do well if you have game. If you have game and you know what you're doing, and you can do well. Like, I'm not sitting down here saying it's hopeless. Like, you can do well. Like, there's guys who come from New York and guys who come from, trust me, I met a lot of dudes out from New York. I got a lot of family in New York, so they come out here and they clean up. Maybe it's the aggressiveness in them, or maybe it's the demeanor. I don't know what it is, but they're able to clean up out in Toronto. So if you have your game on point, you can clean up in Toronto. You can do damage. You can get a lot of females. The feminism is high out here, so you have to be very mindful of that. I don't really hear too many guys getting Me Too'd out here. It happens, but I don't really hear of it, And even when it happens, I've heard of one case, and that went nowhere. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You can have a great time in Toronto. They have nice festivals. They got nice nightclubs and whatnot. They got a lot of stuff. Is Toronto a destination I advise guys to come to for chicks? No, I would say go somewhere else. I would say go somewhere else. Go anywhere else but Toronto. You see what I'm saying? In Canada, go to Montreal, go to Vancouver, go to those two locations first, and then maybe if you want to come out here and just see what the city's like, and then you can try something, but don't have high expectations.
All right, question. Also, another question for you. Apart from Vancouver and Montreal, where else in Canada are brothers being checked for?
Honestly, I would say nowhere else, man. Straight up. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time.
Mhm.
There's other cities like Edmonton, Alberta. There's Calgary, Alberta. But them cities are dry. You see what I'm saying? Like it's too cold out there. Like the climate is it's the Arctic out here. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like
Right.
yeah, the climate is too cold. So it doesn't make sense. Honestly, I would advise guys, don't waste your money, don't waste your time. Go somewhere else.
Hey, that's what's up. Appreciate the intel from El Selector. You guys, if you have any questions regarding Vancouver and Montreal, say it now. I will be opening the call up for you guys to call in to ask any questions. We'll be speaking about anime and Jay-Z versus Nas. For you guys who are anime and hip hop fans, I know a lot of brothers in America and the UK watch anime, listen to rap, so that's going to be interesting. Any questions, say right now. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds. Let's see. Drake gas their heads up. Of course, hip hop. Canada is a hotspot for black men. From Jack Hove, no doubt, no doubt. Vancouver, Montreal. Those are the spots for brothers to get dime, beautiful foreign women. If you're new to the stream, hit that like button. Hit the like button, guys. Let's get the likes up. So, El Selector, where are you now in Canada? Or are you in America right now?
No, I'm in Toronto right now.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, I'm in Toronto right now due to the lockdowns and whatnot. So I'm out here right now. We'll see what happens. This lockdowns just I don't know. It's messed up a lot of things, I must say. So all we can do is just sit around and just kind of see what happens next, and just keep making that money and keep making those moves.
All right, thanks for that. Yeah, so Montreal, Vancouver are definitely hotspot for brothers. Mad game given to us by El Selector. Now let's move on to anime before I open the call up in 10 minutes. Who here watches anime? Put number 1 in the chat if you watch anime. Right now I'm watching
I
Attack
do.
on Titan. Who else in the panel watches anime?
I do.
So we got Amaro Chroma, Saying Games, El Selector. You guys watch anime too?
Yes.
No, I
I do.
don't watch anime, but I listen to hip hop.
Sorry? Go on, Amaro.
Oh, when I can.
What about you, El Selector?
Not as much anymore, but I used to watch like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z, but not as much anymore.
Saying Games, what about you?
Me, I grew up on it, so I'm constantly watching it. From Fire Force to Akira to Cowboy Bebop, just everything.
That's what's up. We're seeing Naruto, Dragon Ball Z Gantz. Right now, I'm watching Attack on Titan. Brothers, Attack on Titan, that is the ish right now. Amara, you watch that? You watching Attack on Titan at the moment as well?
Oh, of course, I am.
So, with us anime brothers, I want to get your thoughts on this. Do you feel like foreign women accept brothers more if they watch anime than women in your community? So let's say you go to Australia, go to Japan, and you tell them, yeah, I watch anime, and they'll accept it. But if you told a girl in America, in the UK, in Canada, that you watch anime, you're basically a weeb to them, and any chance of you having to date her are all gone. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, that's a fact. I mean, that's a fact. Like maybe like now you have some females out here in the States. They're like, yeah, and it's cool. Now that and it has caught on now. Everybody's into it now. You But at the same time, you still have like, you have chicken heads and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, you watch those cartoons? Like they're not cartoons; they're Japanese animation. Yeah,
That's what's up.
it's really, really
Amaro,
crazy.
hey, your connection's a bit off saying games. Amaro, what do you think about that question I posed?
Yeah, most definitely. I've definitely talked to some girls and experienced that. If you watch anime, they might not consider you an alpha male. They might look down upon you a little bit differently. I mean, I've met also recently. Though I'm not gonna lie to you, there have been some girls that don't mind that also watch anime. But I feel like at the end of the day, you don't really want to mention it most of the time with American girls that you watch anime. Like if they bring it up to you, that's cool. But like you don't want to be the first one to mention it.
100%. What do you think about that, El Selector? Do Montreal girls shriek when you say you watch anime? Or what's your thoughts about that?
As far as girls out in Canada, I don't think they care if you watch anime. Honestly, I don't think they care what you do as far as what you watch and whatnot. Like, I don't, I've never heard any girls say anything about a guy watching anime like that was an issue or something like that. I don't know. It's 2021. Like, I don't know. I've never heard that before, but
That's what's up. Have you
yeah.
guys heard about an anime called Death Note at all? Yeah, watched that before?
Yes, that anime is freaking amazing.
Yo, I was watching that last week again. Classic. And I feel like a lot of brothers who travel, from what I've met, have seen Death Note and watch anime. So I feel like it needs to be discussed. There's a lot of brothers out there who watch anime, and brothers should know that a lot of foreign women don't care, but American women, from what I've heard, and let's say women from the UK, Canada, they look at you weird if you watch so-called cartoons, right?
I don't know. I don't think so, because you know what? Like a lot of people, they grew up on Family Guy, they grew up on The Simpsons, so it's just like a lot of people just don't care. I don't think people care. Listen, if you're dealing with a girl or you got a girl and you tell her, hey, I'm into this stuff, and she like, all right, cool. Like if you're a cool dude, I think a lot of girls would just be like, yeah, I'll watch it with you. Hey, come to my crib and let's take a look at some anime together and whatnot. Maybe watch whatever anime show you're interested in, and I'm sure the girls will be down. If you're a fly guy or a cool guy, you keep it 100. I think a lot of girls are gonna be, they're gonna respect you for that. I don't think a lot of girls find that to be weird, because you see a lot of girls into like, they go to like I know anime and it's totally different, but a lot of girls go to like Comic-Con. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of girls go to that. I've seen a lot of girls go to the convention center out here and go to the Comic-Con and just be out there just dressed up and enjoying themselves. So I think a lot of girls find that stuff they find it interesting. As a guy, you just got to draw into it. A lot of girls, they adopt, if they like you and they're feeling you, they'll adopt a lot of things and a lot of stuff you do, and they'll start to appreciate it. So I don't think it's an issue.
What's up? We got Reezy 101 in the chat. What's up, bro? How you doing?
It's popping international.
Hey, what's up, dude? Quick question for you. Introduce yourself and how did you find my channel? Do you have your passport? And why are you into foreign women?
Hey, yeah, first off, peace to all the guys on the chat. Shoot, I first came across one of your videos. I think it was talking about women in Spain, I believe. Like, how do women in Spain treat brothers? And, ever since then, I was like, all right, let me get on his channel. Let me binge watch and see what he's talking about, because I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now. And for the most part, there's a lot of snow bunnies out here, but I mean, I just you want to go where you want it, you know. You want to go where you want it. America favors more white men, and you know you want to just go where you want it. And yeah, I got my passport right here. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's what's up. So where have you traveled to actually before in the past?
I
Before we
traveled
go any
to.
further, tell me the countries where the woman treated you good as a brother.
Okay, so I've only traveled to California and Chicago and down south. Other than that, I've never left the country.
All right. Um, when you went to down south, Chicago, California, what place treated you the best as a brother? Was it California?
California, California, easily.
Why is that? Why do you feel like the women there in California treated you there properly? And what race of women gave you a lot of play in California?
So I went to Monterey, which is historically a white place, and not too many people of color. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're there, but you know, not too many brothers in particular were there. And that's what it's kind of like that factor that's the selling point in traveling overseas is that there's not too many brothers doing it.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the thing that helped me stood out. And then also I'm an artist, so that was another reason because you know California is so art focused.
That's what's up. So you're saying it was mostly Caucasian women that gave you the most play in California.
Correct.
A lot of brothers nowadays are attracted to women. Do you feel like the Asian women in California are checking for brothers? I know there's a lot of Asians down there.
Yeah. Well, there's another thing that goes to that point. I think it was Jack Hove. He said in the chat that a foreign woman will approach you and ask you for directions. That happened to me in my city. There was this girl from Chile, from South America. She didn't know me from at all. And I was at the Mall of America over in my state, and she just came over and was asking me how to go downtown and everything. And then I didn't know if she was like trying to choose or anything, but all I could do was just give her my business card and see how that would go. But other than that, for the most part, yeah, Asian went like it's the thing in now. Like I guess like this is the best time to be a brother, so like get chose. If you got something going on for yourself, you can't just get away with being a brother. Like you got to actually have like a personality in game.
Okay, so what do you mean by this is the best time to be a brother? Like, explain that further for other brothers in the call, because I personally don't know what you mean by that, but that's interesting.
Okay, so how many brothers are in the chat right now? Like, is everybody in the chat a brother, or is it like mixed race cats?
No, it's all brothers in the chat right now. All
Okay,
brothers.
so all brothers here. I'm pretty sure a man. So in general, a man's life is lonely. All of us brothers, I'm pretty sure at one point or another have felt loneliness at one point in our life. Am I correct or no? Am I the only one alone in that?
Yeah.
I agree.
Nah, you know.
I agree.
Okay. All right, cool. So with that being established, we've all had to face that. And then, you know, especially in American society, you know, white men and shout out to King Riches. I don't know if y'all know him. He's a YouTuber, popular dude. He's always harping on the fact that if you a white dude, you could just be regular, average white dude and just get all types of chicks. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. And then versus you could be a regular type of brother, and then it's like he's always saying you got to be like a superhero, and you got to be a superhero as a brother to get, you know, chose or, you know, looked at by chicks. But now, ever since Black Panther came out, brothers are being more seen in a positive light, and now, you know, it's a better time for us. And have y'all seen speaking of anime, has anyone played that new Miles Morales Spider-Man video game?
Nah, man, nah.
Yes, I have. It's beautiful. I beat
That
it
game,
twice.
man, you feel like
You
man, you
do.
feel like a god playing that game.
You
And so I'm
do.
pretty sure there's a lot of chicks who not only watch anime but play video games, and they play that Miles Morales game, and yo, that helps us out too.
Okay, you're saying you feel like video games, popular culture, films like Black Panther, help brothers get these foreign women.
Yep,
Is that what you're saying, bro?
that's correct.
Interesting. Okay, okay. Don't you feel like that could be like a detriment as well? Because everyone says that hip hop makes brothers look bad. You know, brothers saying the N word, brothers rapping about killing other brothers, brothers rapping about spending all their money on diamonds and clothes instead of
Yeah,
investing in stocks and crypto. Could that be a
yeah,
detriment
because
to the black man's image?
I'm from Chicago. I mean, I'm not from Chicago, but I was born in it. But I just came from there, and that's where drill music. You're talking about drill music and trapping and stuff, but
Yeah.
the one you're talking about is drill music that originated from Chicago, and um, for the most part, it makes what the black community used to be, because the black community is basically done at this point, and it's just basically another black man talking about killing another black man. Like it ain't like if they had the lyrics say, "Oh, I'm gonna kill this cracker," and stuff like that, it wouldn't be as popular as it used to be. But that's why they get so much money doing it, because it's a black man talking about killing another black man. And I've been tested in Chicago. It's fucked up out there. I'm in the hood out in that one. So for the most part, hip hop is the number one genre in the world. So it's a double-edged sword where it's a double-edged sword where like it can help you or hurt you.
Mm, yeah, I agree with that. What do you guys think about that in the panel? So, Amara, you go first. Do you agree with that at all?
First of all, what's your name, sir?
What's my name?
Yeah.
All right, well, the name I was born was Tariq.
Okay, bro, man. Like you have some good intel. Like I've been like, cause bro, on the other topic you mentioned earlier, like white guys. I talked about that yesterday. How in America, if you're white, is a lot easier. It's a lot
Yep,
easier. As a black man, you have to work 3 times as hard to get the
yep,
exact same things. Like you could like, man, me and my friends, we'd go to the club dressed like good looking guys. We're good looking guys. Like I've had girls tell me I'm a really good looking guy. Like we go in there, nice suit, good haircuts, fresh, everything. Like just because the dude was white and we're black, he'd get way better play. He'd get girls like this, like 9s and 10s. The white guys would get them easily. Like us, we'd have 6s approaching us, 5s approaching us, and we obviously we wouldn't mess with them. So we'd always
yep,
go home and alone. We'd just go home alone every single time because we're not going to lower our standards and see other
yep.
guys getting girls for no reason just because they're race. But
And that's happened to me too. Like, they were probably some Shrek-looking chicks, huh?
you
Yeah,
got
because that's why, like, it's like I don't know if there's some type of spell in this country where it's just like, just if you white, you can just get any old type of chick, bro. But that's just what it is, man. I mean, like, and then you would look at them and then you'd be like, bro, what's your secret? They could be corny as fuck, man. Like they'll say the corniest shit to them,
Hey,
and they still get rejected too.
language, bro,
But
language.
oh, my bad. Oh,
Uh,
YouTube, my bad. They could be corny and everything. They'll say the corniest stuff, and they would still get like chicks approaching them and everything.
That's why yesterday I mentioned Seattle. Seattle has been a lot better, like because the Vancouver is only 2 hours from here, so the effect has like literally. I'm telling you, it's been life changing for me coming here. I've been dating foreign women nonstop, back to back. Like girls like that would never give me a chance in Michigan have been giving me a chance in Seattle. I will say that. So, but I do love your points. I've definitely like been listening, and some of the things you said, like I literally mentioned that yesterday as well.
It's true. It's just facts, man. Home America is not for black men.
Hey, international passport. I do have some mad game to add of Vancouver, though. To be honest.
yeah, go on. Yeah, go on, mate. Say it.
Okay, so I met this dude a while back at my job, and he gave me some crazy intel about Vancouver. I couldn't believe it. Like it's mind-boggling. So he's in the military. He was in the military, and he moved out here. He's from Georgia originally, and now he's in Washington. So pretty much like him and his friends, they go to like the local clubs in Seattle. You know, he's a good-looking guy too. You know, like they go to the good. You know, they go to the all go to the clubs and stuff in Seattle. they'd go around. He said they'd just be standing in there. Nothing would ever happen for them. Wasting their time, go in there fresh. Nothing would happen for them. One day they decided to go to Vancouver. They drove 3 hours north. They waited at the border for 2 hours, and they finally got to Vancouver. And OMG, if I can tell you the look on this dude's face when he was talking to me, he said girls from Peru, Colombia, white chicks, Asian chicks, all of his friends were getting approached as soon as they walked in the club. Like, he said they couldn't believe it. Like, from what was happening in the States to what happened in Vancouver, they couldn't believe it. He ended up driving to Vancouver for 9 months straight. Every Saturday and Sunday he was in Vancouver. Every Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, carry on, Amara.
Every Saturday and Sunday he was in Vancouver. Like, he said, like, girls from Peru,
Can
Colombia.
you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Hey, I think Amara's having some connections issues, but
No, we hear him.
Explain that, but that's good news, man. I'm saying you brothers are being checked out heavy in Vancouver. Wow, can you guys put yourself on mute if you're not speaking? So that goes for Weezy 101, L Selector. Put yourself on mute if you're not speaking. What is up, Lord Bell? How you doing?
What's going on, brother? How you doing tonight?
Not too bad. Can you introduce yourself, how you found my channel, and of course, your thoughts on foreign women and all that stuff. So carry on. The floor is yours.
I stumbled on your channel just looking for a black man channel talking about traveling and talking about finance, and I just happened to stumble upon your channel. So I basically found you from another channel. I can't think of the name of the channel, but I found your channel from another channel. But if you want to speak on foreign women, I have a passport. I've been to Europe. I've been to the UK, where you're from. I've been to Western and Eastern Europe. I've been to the DR, and I've been to Mexico, and I plan on doing some more traveling.
Okay. So which country treated you the best out of all the countries you went to?
Whew. Damn.
Make sure you get a bit away from your mic so you won't have hearing issues.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, carry on.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? Is this better now?
Yeah. Carry on.
Okay. I would say the DR, to be honest.
Okay.
Wow. And I'll put it to you this way. So my experience might be different from different brothers that travel down in the DR. You know, like most brothers, they either go online and they meet women on certain, dating sites that's in the DR. So I had a connection with a brother that I met in Vegas, just traveling. Me and him connected, and he connected me to a Dominican guy, and the Dominican guy was showing me around and introducing me to women. And to be honest, I never paid for sex, but that's a whole nother subject on that. And to add on to the story, when I got to the airport, he had two twins waiting for me. You know how like you come to the airport and you watch a movie and you see people holding up signs with your name on it. He had my name on it. It said, because my name is Lavelle. It said Lavelle, and the two twins were holding up my name. I was like, wow, that's crazy. When I got in the car, they opening up Cokes. Now, I don't drink soda. I'm a big health conscious person. But I was like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. And they wanted me, but my ass being stupid, because they actually wanted to have a threesome. But my dumb ass thinking with my lower head and not my big head.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
You mean 2 girls, 1 guy, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. Yeah. No trains. No trains, brother. No trains. So
carry on.
So they wanted to have a threesome, but I wanted this being a nigga.
Hold up. Not too explicit, right? Carry on.
Oh, my bad. You know what? Let me calm it down. My bad. I'm very blunt. Let me calm it down. My bad. I don't want to mess up your channel. My bad, brother. So they wanted to get down, and But me thinking with the Lord head, I wanted the big booty chick, Dominican, that I was talking to, that was introduced to me by the guy that was showing me around, so we dropped them off, and I went to go pick up her. But here's the kicker with this whole story. We went to go pick up his wife, who was in the military, and we went to go pick up her daughter, which is his stepdaughter. His stepdaughter and the girl that he introduced me to were having, I speak a little Spanish, so I was listening somewhat, and I didn't understand all the conversation that they were having. But the guy that was showing me around, Luis, is who I'm talking about. He was like, "Hey, they both want you, and they want you to make a decision. Do you want to choose? You got to choose between the two of them to take up to your room." I'm like, "What? What?" So I'm like, but here's the thing. Once again, thinking with your lower head and not with your big head, I chose the big booty chick. I did. And to be honest, I should have chose. I mean, both chicks were beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Both chicks was very beautiful. But I should have went with the stepdaughter. And let me tell you why. So after I got done doing what I was doing, doing what I was doing with the chick, she's talking to me on Google Translate, and she was like, I have a daughter and can you help me? I said, a daughter? I was probably black on Google Translate. That ain't my daughter. What does that have to do with me? Like, so the moral to the story is what I'm saying is I should have chose the stepdaughter because the stepdaughter didn't even want nothing from me. She actually wanted to cook for me, she wanted sex, of course, but she didn't want no funds. Like she was actually somebody that she was basically one of those rare unicorns that actually did not want nothing from me. The other chick was just she thought she was gonna get some funds out of me because she's used to guys coming down there just having sex and, oh, you got a kid? Oh, here goes some money. Throwing her some bands or whatever. Nah, I'm cool. I'm from Tennessee, baby. You can't get over this pimping. But that's just the that's just my time in the DR, man. Any more questions?
You guys have any questions for Lord Bell at all?
Yeah, I just have one question. What part of DR were you at? Like,
I was in Santo Domingo, the capital.
okay. Like, how would you say the nightlife is out there?
So I did limited nightlife. I'm just being honest. But the time that I spent, it was cool. Everybody was friendly. To be honest, I'm just gonna be honest with you. There was times where I didn't even meet up with Louise, and I was just walking around getting chose. And they would how can I put it in words? They would basically I would try to speak Spanish a little bit from what I knew, and they would just basically help me out or they'd just show me around if I was lost or something. So it was cool. I ain't have no issues. It was cool though.
Okay. By any chance, did you get a chance to go out to Sosua? Because I know a lot of dudes be going out there.
No, I didn't. Just Santo Domingo is the only country that I got a chance to go to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a question from YoungHand706. Bruh, what did you do about them lame white trolls that flooded your channels a couple weeks ago? Yeah, so let me give you guys a background to that story. Logged in one day and I saw a whole bunch of racist comments in one of my videos. It was a video where I said that the video titled Black Men Should Move to London, England, the Guide to Nightlife, London, nightlife, etc., etc. So I saw that. I had to remove all the comments there. I had to block a lot of trolls. So that's what I did. So right now, in most of my videos, it's very filtered, so not anyone can comment anymore because it was just too much racist comments. It was way too much. It took me a long time to delete them all, so I'm watching my comments very closely. But yeah, all good. Again, I'm gonna keep making more videos to make brothers aware as to how the world is, stocks, crypto, getting their passports to meet foreign women. Now, let me pivot back to Amara Chroma. Speak more about Vancouver.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Man, I've been having some serious connection problems. Can you hear me?
Don't worry, mate. I can hear you. Carry on with that Vancouver story because brothers need to know that Vancouver is legitimately a hotspot for the Black American brothers, for Black British brothers, even Black Canadian brothers. And I'm sure Black Jamaican brothers and brothers from the Caribbean will eat very well in Vancouver. So carry on with that story, mate. Amara, carry on.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, carry on with the Vancouver story.
Okay, so basically what I was saying was, man, I have this friend and he told me the most incredible story about Vancouver and it's mind-boggling. So I met him, he told me like they go to Seattle, they go to all the clubs in Seattle and like nothing would happen. They'd just be standing around. They drive like to Bellingham, which is like a city more closer to the Vancouver border, which is a little bit better. They had a little bit better times there. But when they went to Vancouver, OMG, like the first day they went to the club in Vancouver, girls from Peru, Colombia, Brazil, Indian girls were giving them play. Like he told me he had the baddest Indian girl like you would never believe. Like he ended up going to Vancouver for 9 months straight, every Saturday and Sunday. Every Saturday and Sunday. I said, really? He said it was that good. It was that good. Now he's actually married. Like it was that good. Like now he's actually married to a lovely lady from Vancouver.
Where's she from? What's her
I,
race?
I think he says he was half Trinidadian and half black and half Kenyan.
Damn. See,
Hey,
guys.
I got a question for Amaro.
Yeah. Go on.
All right, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt nobody.
Oh, go on, bro.
All right, so I got a question for you, bro. Because I'm in Minnesota. I'm kind of close to Canada. How much bread would you recommend for a brother, and how many days would you recommend for a brother to go out there? Like, you know, somebody working in a budget, if you catch my drift.
Hey,
Go on,
bro,
Amara.
what was your question again?
Like, yeah, how much bread would you like? How much money would you say that a brother traveling out to, like, you know, Montreal or Vancouver? How much should he be willing to blow out there, like when he's traveling out there to bring and blow with him? And how many days should he stay out there for?
Bro, give me 1 second, please. Like my whole audio keeps like stuff stuttering this whole time. Just give me 1 second, please.
Yo, I could answer that for you, bro.
All right, go on.
All right, so when you come into Canada, how much money? Okay, currently you live in the United States, right? Where you live in is that Minnesota, right? Or not Minnesota? Sorry, Seattle, right?
No,
Or
I
where
live in Minnesota.
Okay, you live in Minnesota. Okay, all right. So, because you live in Minnesota, because you live in the United States, the dollar trumps the Canadian dollar. So your dollar is like, I don't know. I think it's like one US dollar is like 70 cents Canadian or something like that, 70 something cents. So basically, ideally, your dollar is gonna go further out there. Your dollar is gonna stretch. So as far as how much money you want to bring, depending how long you plan on staying out there. If you plan on staying out there for about 3 days, 4 days, you plan on, I would say ideally, depending, I don't know what your finances is looking like, but if you want to be on the safe side, maybe to spending money about $700 US, you'll be good. You'll be good.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, $700, you should be good for 3 days. Your money will. I don't know what kind of lifestyle. Some dudes they be like to. I guess they like to eat out at fine dine or high end restaurants and whatnot. Some guys like to. They're kind of laid back. They'll go eat at like some diner spot or maybe like a Moxie's or something like that, or one of these subpar, not subpar, but like average restaurants and whatnot. So it just all depends on the lifestyle. But ideally, I would say 700 US. You could probably even go less. You could probably even do $500. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be out if you're there for like 3 to 4 days. International, he's from Britain, so the pound is even higher. So it may even be he probably spent a lot less. So that's how it works. But whenever you're coming to Canada, though, just understand that you have the higher currency. So due to the fact that you have the higher currency, your money goes a lot further, and you don't really have to spend as much to enjoy yourself.
I like that.
Yeah, that's why I felt like, because we want to, like, brothers on this chat, we should all be striving to actually go out there and really experience it and not just fantasize and dream about it. That's why I was like, for like a first timer, you'd recommend like 3 or 4 days for a first timer.
Yeah, if you want to go out there first timer, if you want to go out there, yeah, I would say probably because you live out in Minnesota, right? So Minnesota's not too far, right? You live out in the Midwest, right? Vancouver's in the West Coast, so that's not too far. Basically, I would say, yeah, probably around 4 days. You should be all right. Like you go out there on a Thursday, maybe you come back on a Monday. You fly out on a Monday, fly back home on a Monday. Sorry, or you could spend a week there. Ideally, if you want to see a lot more and you want to do a lot more, you'd want to spend more time out there. Ideally, I would tell people try to spend like the whole entire week out there and just to experience different things. Maybe you want to go to different types of places or different types of museums and stuff, just kind of see the different culture and whatnot. But if you're there strictly for chicks, and just go, I would say Thursday and then bounce out of there by Monday. Because, the clubs from Thursday to Sunday are all nightclubs and bars are always, that's when it's hot. So that's what you want to do.
Yo,
Question, brother.
That's what's up. We have Just R in the panel. Just R, how you doing, mate? Introduce yourself and tell us about how you found my channel and your travel experiences with foreign women and what countries you've been to.
Yeah. What's happening? My name is Goose. I can't honestly. I've been subscribed to you for some time. I don't know how I initially came across you, but definitely, was enticed when I, saw the subject matter. Just African Americans out here trying to figure out, what places they have the greatest receptivity. I can definitely, I can appreciate that. I've traveled to a few different places. I won't list them all, but I'll say I've been to Costa Rica, I've been to Vancouver one time. I've definitely trekked the United States a decent bit. Spent a lot of time in the Northwest, Seattle, Portland, Houston, Austin. Also been into Europe, Germany, Japan, Australia. So I've been fortunate to go to a few places, but I'll say, it's something's interesting about traveling is I think that a lot of times we think, going somewhere else we'll experience just like, way different results off the rip, and you can just go somewhere and like, they're gonna treat you like the man and such. But I will say it's important no matter where you go to have some level of strategy to deploy, so that way, you can greatly increase the probability of having the kind of outcomes and results you would like to have with women. And so I'll say personally, the place where I think women tend to be the most responsive to African American men, particularly, I would say Germany definitely was an interesting place, and there definitely was a receptivity that I could appreciate. But honestly, too, I really think that, it's really what you make of it. And then sometimes there's hidden gems in certain countries, right? So like, for example, you go to Seattle, I was in Seattle most of my life. And I used to say for the longest, like, there ain't that many, bad ones out there, ain't that many bad ones. But then I messed around and found one little off town near the big city, or just finding one little neighborhood, and you figure out, oh, dang, okay, this is where they've been kicking at. This is where they've been hiding the whole time. And so it's like, sometimes you got to know where to go when you're at the spot, because these cities are big. You can't.
Well, what neighborhood? What neighborhood is that? What neighborhood is that?
I can't, although I could, say it and disclose that knowledge, so I'll give it to you. Let's just say that in Seattle, particularly, I say the northern region, North Seattle, between U District, Queen Anne, all that. That's where the finer pickings are going to be a lot more than South Seattle, West Seattle, in my opinion. So if you're out there, you definitely want to be on the north side. If you're in, PDX, you want to be on the west side. If you're in Houston, you want to be on the south side. I mean, it's just like every spot has the spot. So it's not just the city, but it's the area in the city that you got to know where to go. Kind of said a lot right there. I know that was probably a handful, but it's a pleasure to join the chat.
Yeah, I just have a question for both you guys there. I just want to know, you guys are in the Seattle, Washington area. How's it like out there in Oregon? Like, have you guys been out there, and what's the vibe like out there? Because Oregon, nobody really talks about Oregon. There's not really that much information out there, but I've always wondered, how is it like out there in that Oregon area? Like Portland, to be exact.
I'm just gonna turn on the camera. I know nobody else is doing it, but I just feel like sometimes the visual makes it easier. You know what I'm saying? Conversation. Oh, my man came in. You know what I'm saying? Respect to it. Man, I'll be honest. I'll tell certain cats. I feel like Portland is one of the hidden gems, especially if you're into, particularly obviously, you know, it's much more Caucasian prevalent. So if you're into what they call pogs, I say I've never seen anything like I've seen in Portland. Swear to God, like it's kind of crazy. But that being said, you know, what I notice is like every culture, don't get me wrong, women are women, but like you got to have a different approach when it comes to different cultures. So, you know, because yeah, you got to think if someone is coming from a more European American culture, right, where most of their surroundings, most of their upbringing is in engaging with white people, then, you know, although, yeah, they may be a little bit drawn to the mystique of, you know, black men in different cultures, if you're not to some degree able to communicate with them in a way that's familiar, then they're not going to be, you know, it's really difficult to break that barrier. So you got to know how to, you know, I think really, I don't know how to explain, like you got to know how to communicate with them in a way that they're familiar with, in a way that makes them feel comfortable, to where you can build more rapport and then be able to, you know what I'm saying, go on dates and different things. So, you know, like I've been to cities where there's mad honeys, but there's nothing more frustrating when you're in a place that got mad girls, but you're not experiencing the look that you want. So I think it's really important, once again, strategy, just like anything else in business. You got to have a strategy. On this, I'm gonna hit the marketplace. This is where I'm gonna be on these platforms. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, deploy this kind of strategy. Same thing with women. You gotta like have a real deal, especially when you're traveling, because traveling, you're finite on time. And so what naturally happens is, let's say you go somewhere, let's say you go to Germany. I'm about to give myself a week, 7 days in Germany. Now the clock is ticking. So instead of just be chilling like you're gonna be there all year, you know, damn, if I don't find a honey in like the next 2 days, you know, I'm about to be feeling some kind of way. I'm gonna be hot. So you got to know, okay, like how to pace yourself to where you're not exuding desperation. Because one thing that repels women more than anything is when they feel like you are looking for women, or you're looking like you really want it. The one thing that pulls them in the most that I've seen is when they feel like you don't want them at all, or they feel like, damn, like he's not even interested, he ain't even checking, he ain't even looking. And that's when they're like, well, hold on, wait a minute. And that's when they're coming at you. And I think a lot of us guys, we yearn for women to come to us. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to say it. Yeah, some of us got more of a hunter instinct, but a lot of us want women to be a little bit more engaging with us and a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, like executing with us. And the only way I've seen that to ever happen is when you honestly act like you don't even care. And like you could just be there for 7 days, chill by yourself the whole time, and wouldn't make a difference to you because you just out here doing your own thing. And that's when, no, actually, I want to spend time with you. I want to see what you're about because you don't even look like you care about me. And nowadays, they're all used to do just caring about them way too much, giving them likes on Instagram, giving them Facebook likes, all that. They're all used to getting attention. So the second you don't give them that, or you give them just a little bit to give them a little bit of interest, but then you pull back, that's when they're like, oh, no, okay, I want to see more what's up with that guy. That's just
what's up, Joshua. Got a question for you, actually. So we got Big Task ATHAND saying, are there Asian women in Portland? And are those Asian women checking for brothers too? 2 questions.
That is a good question. I will say that there are Asian women in Portland. That's probably like the second, you know what I'm saying, greatest demographic. It goes white women, and then it goes Asian women, and then, you know, probably Hispanic, but it's definitely white Asian. Personally, I'm not even gonna front. I'm not really, you know, into the Asian persuasion like that. So I'm not always barometer in that. But I do say that I think they're definitely checking. I think they're definitely, you know what I'm saying, receptive. But once again, I think the Asians are a little bit more difficult to holla at, you know, when it comes to the Chinese and Japanese, because they have, I think, more of a disdain. We talk about white women not having, you know, not checking for brothers, but I think it's really Asian women more than any other culture, because they've been conditioned over there to thinking that we're the bottom of the barrel, we ain't nothing, we ain't good for nothing. And so they have a greater burden to carry when they bring a black man home, most times, culturally speaking, than a white woman does in most cases than not. So, you know, I find that the most responsible Asian women are going to be Vietnamese and Filipino. But if you're trying to highlight Chinese, Japanese, maybe Korean, but definitely Chinese and Japanese, it's going to be a tough bet. Not saying it can't happen. There's always exceptions, but I find the most responsive Asian women, Portland, Seattle, wherever you go, is going to be the Vietnamese and the Filipino. And in my opinion, I think those are the finest ones anyway, so it really shouldn't matter, but that's just my experience.
Can I chime in on this? To build on what you said, back in 2018, I had a Hmong girl check for me and everything. And I just want to ask, like, international, are you pro marriage, or are you just trying to have brothers just get out here and spread themselves around? Like on some rough
good question. So I want brothers to get out there. You know, I don't want brothers to be confined within their community, within their area, and feel like, wow, is that all I have to offer for women? Is that all the women that's available to me? That's not true. Once you get your passport, all your women troubles will go away. I'll tell you that. And I would say, yes, I'm both sides. So I'm pro marriage and I'm pro brothers getting out there to meet the right woman to marry and settle down with. Because in America, in the UK, certain parts in Canada, the women there, I don't know what's happened anymore, and I'm sure American brothers can agree with me that women have changed from a decade ago, 20 years ago, and it's getting worse. So what you should do is get your passport, head down to Asia, head down to Latin America, head down to Africa. You know, brothers are telling me in the comments that, why don't you go to Africa? Africa is part of foreign women. There are many foreign women in Africa too. So I want brothers to get their passports to meet different kinds of women to be with. That's my objective. So it's passports, it's stocks, and it's crypto. Straight up.
Yeah, that's why I had to ask that. 'Cause go back on what you had said. A Hmong girl had chose me.
Hey, bro, speak louder. I think the microphone from your mouth. You need to speak a bit louder.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, back in 2018, this Hmong girl had chose me, and she was like one of the baddest chicks ever, like one of the baddest. But she took me out on a date and she introduced me to her fam. And it was like on the first date, like her grandma was like, "Oh, you can call me grandma," and like her dad was not even trying to have that. Like she wasn't even trying to hear that. So it's like I I'm open to Asian persuasion, but it's just like you better be willing to decide if that's gonna be your Asian wifey, and then man, you're gonna have to earn your position in a family. And I'm just like, I feel like that's too much work.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Don't you guys think that Asian girls are kind of intrigued by a lot of black guys? You know what I'm saying? With the, like I said earlier, the Kanye West, Kim Kardashian effect, a lot of black guys tend to be in right now. So what happens is you see a lot of these Asian girls, they love Kylie Jenner and they see her with Travis Scott and they have those, they obviously, of course, they're going to have those fantasies in their mind of what it's like to be with a black guy and whatnot. So, and a lot of them sometimes, in some instances, they're not thinking of marriage when they're looking at black guys. Sometimes they're just looking at having a great time. A lot of girls, they have that stage in them where they want to, go out there and, just explore and see different things and see what it's like. So I think a lot of guys need to stop thinking too much of marriage. I understand marriage is important. Marriage will eventually be there, but understand a lot of these girls, some of these girls ain't looking at like guys like us. Oh, we want to get married to them. Some of them, so in some instances, they're just looking at, hey, I just want to have a good time. I want to see what's up. Like, I want to see what he's packing. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
So I just want a lot of guys to just keep that in mind. Like, hey, it's not like a lot of these women, especially these Asian girls and these Japanese and Korean and Chinese, sometimes they just want to have that experience, what it's like to be a black guy.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Videos that caught my attention was the main topic, how Canada girls treat black men. Now I'm intrigued by it because I went to Montreal years ago, way before 9/11 and everything. And it was cool, but the people in Montreal, they prefer that you speak French. So if you spoke French, you get more play. If you didn't speak French, the play would be less. So, it was kind of hard to get play in Montreal. I mean, you could get play there, but you'd get better play if you spoke French, because the French Canadians are kind of jerks. But I would like to go to other parts of Canada when the Canadian borders open up to the United States and everything. And I appreciate the game that the other brothers were talking about as far as Vancouver and whatnot, because that's one of the places I would like to visit in Canada. So that's pretty much my only out of country experience that I had. I was supposed to go out of the country last year, but the pandemic happened. So.
All right, awesome. Our selector, what do you say to LTMP's thoughts on Montreal regarding?
Well, yeah, you said you went there prior to 9/11, right? So that was like what, 2001?
Yes, I've been there 3 times.
Okay. Have you been past, like, have you been recently or like in the last 10 years or not?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Because, yeah, a lot has changed. A lot of the demographic has changed. So it's a totally different landscape now. Even the city has changed. Like even like going downtown Montreal, where you go to Saint Laurent, Saint Catharines, and the Club District, and that area over there, a lot has changed. So it's a totally different city from what you've seen back in 2001, right? So it's going on almost 20 plus years ago, right? Or 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago, or 20 years at that, right? So it's a totally different landscape. As far as speaking French, they do speak French, but everybody speaks English. It's like everybody speaks English. So in Montreal, remember you're getting a lot of different demographics. A lot of people from different places. A lot of people who have backgrounds from other places around the world. And in other places around the world, the first language they learn outside of their native tongue is English. So when they come to Canada, they're gonna learn English. You gotta speak English and you gotta speak French. Back in those days, okay, maybe that could have occurred. I'm not disputing with you. That probably did happen. But as of now, I'm telling you, man, everybody's speaking English out there. So if you
Oh, I
speak
ran
English
into
out there,
some people. I ran into some people that spoke English, but
yeah,
there was some other pockets that spoke French, and if you didn't speak French, they would feel some kind of way about it. I mean, there was one chick that tried to help me out with my French, and I was like, "Are you sure you want to help me out with French? Because I just be butchering your language and whatnot." But she took the task because she was feeling the brother. She wanted to get close to me, my chocolate and everything. She was all feeling me and all that. No, no, I want to help you speak French. This is what words you say and how you say it. But it was
yeah,
cool during that
yeah,
time.
yeah. Yeah, you should check it out now, man. Like definitely once the pandemic ends, definitely head out there in the summertime. I think you'll do well. Where are you from exactly?
I am from the Northeast.
So you from the East Coast, right? You from like
Yes.
Delaware or something like that, or Vermont, or like New
No,
York?
no, 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 no. I am from New England,
Oh, New England.
Massachusetts.
So like New Hampshire. Okay, Massachusetts. So you're from the Boston area. Yeah, that's not too far from Montreal. You should do well, bro. Once you go out there, times have changed. Like you even see cities are developing, right? There's back then I'm sure when you went out there, you didn't even see condominiums and stuff like that out there. It was like old buildings. Now they got some new developments out there. They got it's totally different. It's a totally different landscape out there. And you know how it is. The demographics change over the year too. Like what people, cultures, and society and social media. A lot of things are influencing the way people are going about life in today's world, right? So you're gonna see a lot of different things. I'm telling you right now, like they all are messing with brothers. Like I said, hip hop is popular. Hip hop is pop culture, and due to the fact that it's pop culture, everybody's eyes are on the brothers.
Oh,
Thing
hip
is,
hop was popping during the time I went out there too. So
Oh yeah, okay. Well, yeah. Now with social media, I'm telling you, bro, they got brothers out there too. They got black guys out there too, and trust me, they speak English and they speak French. So you should be all right out there in 2021. You'll be all right out there.
El Selector, you're saying how hip hop is big out there in Montreal. I want to
Yeah.
ask you a question, right? So, should you dress a certain way if you're a brother? Should you dress like a hip hop individual if you're a brother? Or let's say if you're a brother in a suit, a tie, you look sharp. You saying brothers won't get checked on if they look too smart? And if
No,
brothers,
not at all. Actually, if you're a clean cut guy, you take care. You're presentable. You look good. You present yourself very well, and you dress accordingly. Like, listen, you got to dress for the occasion. So depending on where you're going, you got to know. You got to dress for where you're going. If the club says no Timberlands or baggy jeans, make sure your jeans are fitted. Tailored. No ripped jeans. No hoodies in the club. Make sure you put on maybe a dress shirt or maybe dress shirt or a long sleeve shirt, or they put on a blazer. Just dress for the occasion. So nowadays we have the luxury. Back in the days, I'm sure, like back in the days prior to social media or the internet days and whatnot, the only way you'll know how the club's demographic looks is you actually have to go to the club itself and then kind of see how it's looking and see how everybody's attire and appearance looks. Now with the internet, you can go on websites, you can go on like Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, and just kind of look at, just put in that location or put that location's demographic or where it's located, and you'll see a whole bunch of pictures of how the club looks and how the people look and the appearance and what's going on. So there's more than enough intel. As long as you go out there and research it, you'll be able to find it. Also, you can also ask people in that area. But as far as you going out on a night out, just dress presentable, just clean, make sure, catch your haircut or line up or taper, whatever style, and just go out there and perform. That's all it is. And make sure you do your, do your homework, and also use Tinder and Bumble and all those other dating apps to your advantage, because it's there now too, right? So,
all right, let me ask you this question. Is this club still out there, Montreal Dome? That was a hip hop club that was out there.
Montreal. No, I didn't see that club. I don't think that's not out there anymore. The clubs that are popping are like Le Cinq, People, was it La Voûte, and then there's a whole bunch of other clubs popping too. And nowadays too, like like back in the days, how people, I guess they used to dress like if you watch like those old hip hop videos from like the 2000s and stuff, like when Nelly and those guys were popping, everyone was wearing baggy jeans and all that stuff. Nowadays, a lot of guys they dress more presentable, so it's more like fitted clothes and stuff, more of the European style of dressing, or like, so it's totally different now, just a different climate now.
Well, I mean, because I remember, as far as hip hop goes, I mean, Canada, they were kind of like Japan, meaning that they were more into the old school of hip hop. I'm talking about the mid '80s hip hop to early '90s. They was into that kind of hip hop. And they still break dance up there. That's what I remember the last time I was there. And I mean, the weirdest thing is, as far as chicks up there, I didn't really meet any French Canadian. I met some French Canadian chicks per se, but ironically, I ended up hooking up with another tourist, and I wasn't even looking for her. I was lost in Montreal, and I just happened to run into somebody that was from the United States, and we started talking, and we hung out until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because I was lost. And the rest, I'm not going to say. I'll just leave that to your imagination. Let's just say, other things happened between that. So,
fair enough. Yeah. As far as like, they do have like, they do have kind of like a nostalgia. They do have that style of like, I know because I went to one place. I don't know what the bar was called, but dude, nobody was on their phone. It was one of the strangest things in the world. Everybody was just kind of vibing in that bar and just chilling. Nobody was looking at their phone or anything. And they did play a lot of old school kind of music in there. It was more of a hipster type of vibe in there, though. I don't know if you guys know what hipsters are, but they kind of have that kind of vibe going on over there, which was to me, I live in Toronto, right? So in Toronto, you see a lot of hipsters and whatnot, like in those towns or certain small sections of the city, or they'll have like their own communities and stuff. So they do have that. But as far as this music they're playing like the Migos, the Drakes. The Weeknd is very popular out there. They're playing a lot of other. They play some of the local talent out there. They play all the top hip hop tracks that you'll see on Spotify, Tidal, etc.
I agree with all this hip hop talk, right? But I want brothers to move away from that hip hop image. I want this image of the intellectual, smart thinking, stock investing, crypto investing brother. Yes, hip hop, is getting women nowadays, but for a lot of women, it's just a phase. They see black dudes rapping, they like how they look, they want to experience it in real life. It's artificial.
International passport. If it's not hip hop, it's also sports and everything. Because I remember when I went to Vegas with a few people.
Wait. Let me finish my point first. Hold up. So,
all right, go ahead. My bad.
I want brothers to embrace the intellectual, black man movement. Stocks, crypto, wear suits, dress good. Don't wear baggy clothes. Wear fitted clothes. Look intellectual. How do you guys feel about that?
I agree with you 100%. Like, I agree with 100%. It's very important to definitely have your finances in check. making sure that you invest in the markets, you participate in the markets are open, so it's for everybody.
But we have to change our image, right, from hip hop to
Yes.
intellectual black
As
man.
far as image though, as far as like nightlife and entertainment, like, you know, if you're listen, it goes hand in hand, right? Like, listen, everywhere you go, the image is the image, right? There's nothing we can do to really change it. Of course, it's important to dress presentable, always dress presentable.
It
right?
depends on
Wherever
your
you go.
environment too, though.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's always important to make sure that you know to dress for the occasion. So if you're going out to a certain venue, make sure that you put on. If you're going to a formal event, put on a suit and tie. If you're going, you don't want to overdress somewhere and then look like the oddball out in the room, right? You want to know where you're going, so it's very important to make sure that you dress for where you're going.
It's
So
also important to read the room as
That's
well, man.
Yeah, carry on.
I mean, it's also important to read the room too. And another thing I was trying to say earlier is, if it's not hip hop, a lot of girls are in the athletes or what athlete is popping right now, you know. But I do agree on the suits and everything. But as far as the suits, nightclubs, depending on the nightclub you go to, that may not be suit appropriate. I mean, when I think of suits, I think of a place like a lounge or something, or a mixer or something, not like a nightclub where everybody is, you know, dressed all casual and everything.
yeah,
You know?
no, I agree with you. Like, I agree with you. Like, even in Vegas now, like, you go to Vegas and even out there, you don't really see it. You see some guys wearing suits and stuff, but majority of the people, because I went out to Vegas numerous times, right? Majority of the people aren't wearing suits in the club. Like, they're just not. You see what I'm saying? You might get a few guys wearing a couple blazers and fitted jeans and nice dress shoes, but suited and booted, like going to, you know, the firm, no, it doesn't. It's not like that anymore. But at the same time, just know though, hey, if you're going to a formal event, like I said prior, or any type of function, you got to know where you're going so you can dress for that. There may be times where you may have to put on your tuxedo and go to an event.
That's what's
Hey,
up.
also,
You
also
got
like,
to do your recon.
hey, also
Go on,
like that.
Amanda.
I have a quick question. How can somebody immigrate to Canada?
Oh, how to immigrate to Canada? Uh, Either I don't. Where you live in? You live in Seattle, right? You live
Yeah, Seattle, Washington.
If you get a job, so if you get a job, like say you work at I don't know, one of the firms out here, like prime example, you may work for, like, I don't know, TD Bank. You get a job in Canada at TD Bank, then they'll give you your work permit. Also, if you're going to school, getting some sort of education, maybe at college or university, then you get your permit for your student visa. It just all depends on what you're doing. If you're starting a business, if you're bringing capital in, like say you're bringing like $100,000 and you're starting a startup, they'll give you everything you need ASAP. So it just all depends on the purpose and behind what you're coming to Canada for.
Would you say it's relatively simple or is it a hard process?
No, I don't think it's hard at all. I think it's pretty. When you live in the United States, it's not difficult at all. Like, there's a lot of Americans that come over to Canada and migrate over and start a new life. So it's not that it's not difficult at all. It's just what's the purpose behind you coming. That's where you gotta kind of figure it out, right? And you just gotta be able to make sure you have that down pat. But once you have that down pat, I'm sure you'll be able to get it done.
That's
Thank
what's
you,
up.
bro.
That's what's up. If you're new to my stream, hit the like button, guys. We've got 38 people watching this classic stream with a great panel. Hit the like button ASAP. Let's push this video out to many brothers around the world. Keep hitting the like button. We have a guy called Sai Chi.
How you doing?
How you doing, mate?
I'm good. I'm good.
Tell us about how you found my channel, the countries you've been to, and the type of women who give you the most play in foreign countries.
So here's the thing. I'm on the younger end of the spectrum, and I haven't done anywhere near as much traveling as I have. I'm still in my like early mid 20s, right? But I'm chiming in because of the fact that I just want more intel on the subject because I am getting ready to join the military, right? And that is a huge window for all different types of options in which I could be stationed in the future. So that's why I find channels like yours. There's other people like Brother Abroad, Mad Bus Driver X, et cetera, where you have like a plethora of people on these social media platforms that can give you plenty of insight on the future. With that being said, I would like to thank you personally for setting up your channel because it did give me a lot of insight, especially on your most recent video. I think not your most recent video, but one of your most recent videos, which says when you gave a little review about your experiences in Norway, because that was one of the countries that I was considering exploring in my future endeavors.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What countries are you looking to travel to in the future?
So I was definitely taking a look at, obviously I said Norway. Germany looks great because everyone talks about it. I had a Nigerian friend that I grew up with who actually recently went and got back from Japan, who said he had a good time up there. I've heard Australia is pretty good. I do love the brown skin Latinas, of course. So of course, Latin America, you can't forget that. I've heard Colombia is great. Mexico's cool. I've heard about the Dominican Republic, and you guys were just talking about that not too long ago. So those would definitely be spots I'd like to hit up. And I've also heard Korea is kind of like 50-50, but I'd have to do more research on that one.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Are you from California?
No, actually, I'm from the Northeast,
Whereabouts? Portland.
Massachusetts.
Ah, I see. I see. I see. That the accent's
Exactly.
Okay. You're from my neck of the woods.
So I did want to ask because I liked how I don't know who it was because I can't see the names because I'm kind of eating while I'm listening here, so I wasn't really paying attention. I was more so listening. Someone mentioned the whole concept of there's a lot of this phase thing going on. For example, with that hip hop trend, right? And you also have a lot of the athlete thing going on. And I do notice, like, even if I'm sure everyone here has heard of the app TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You see a lot of like in my age group, let's say like 18 and 25, you'll see a lot of these brothers, right? That you'll see their girlfriends showing them off and whatnot. They have their little football uniforms on and their basketball jerseys on. And just being in university, I would see it all the time. I went to university down south, Texas to be specific, and obviously like down south, it seems like football is like a big thing down there. And a lot of these athletes would get a lot of attention. Now for me, I was not an athlete, right? But what I found interesting from my experience, and if anyone has any intel on this subject, I'd be very grateful, is so in terms of height, I'm 6'1". I'm not light skin, I'm not dark skin. I guess you'd call me brown skin. Not ugly, and I work out a lot, right? I wasn't an athlete, so I didn't have status or clout, if you will, but I still have the look. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I were to like walk around campus with like a tank top, right? I would definitely notice that I would definitely catch like, women looking, right? I would catch a lot of girls looking, but what I find very interesting is that girls will look at you, but in my experience, only so many girls will actually be willing to date you unless you're an athlete. Whereas it seems like once you get outside of America, there isn't as much of a stigma to being involved with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get into too many details because I'm not exactly alone right now. But if you guys get the idea of what I'm trying to get at here, I've always wondered, do you guys notice that clout or status matters as much, particularly like athlete clout, when you like go out to like these like different countries and whatnot?
So I'll tell you this right now. That athlete clout goes out the window when you go to Germany, when you go to Estonia, when you go
Right.
to Norway, when you go to Colombia, when you go to basically they don't care about your clout.
Right.
They care about how you look, how you dress. And like I said, if you are an American brother, if you are a UK brother, if you are a Canadian brother, you go to Germany, you will eat very, very well. And before I carry on, Mr. International, what's up? How you doing, mate?
What's up, bro? How you doing? You can hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you, bro. I can hear you, bro. You said
All
you're
right.
a long time fan of my channel. Appreciate the support. Introduce yourself, where you're from, how you found my channel, and countries you've been to. And do you agree with Saichi's explanation about the athlete clout?
All right, man. First of all, it's good to be on here. I'm 21. I'm from the United States. I will be honest and say that I haven't traveled anywhere, but Mr. International Passport, One Master Teacher, the Manosphere, those type of guys, not really solo TV. If y'all know who I'm talking about, then y'all do. But if not, it's all right. Look them up. But I like all you guys. Like, you know what I mean? You're holding it down for the black brother from UK to America. You know what I mean? Yeah, your international passport is definitely one of those staples, and he's gonna keep on growing as years come. But like I said, me being 21, I do want to travel. You know what I mean? Um, I'm from the hood, so like I say one thing, and this is going to the stigma cat. You know what I mean? Like me being from the hood, like guys like us, we have a mouthpiece. There's few things. Style and look, like international passport talks about, wearing jean jackets and putting your outfit together. That helps. But like, me growing up, I'm kind of chubby and stuff, but my mouthpiece was my reputation, like what made me popular, what I mean? What made me get the few girls that I did get. But yeah, I do believe that there is a stigma, and I do believe that you have to have a status to be the guy to get the 1% of females. I mean, yeah, you could get sixes, sevens, eights, all that, but once you start becoming somebody status wise in America, you're gonna get. But for what I'm hearing, and from my dad who actually traveled around the world and stuff like that, it's not like that in the world. There's no stereotypes, Also, people tend to like American and people from the UK more.
Hey, actually, your background's causing some noise.
Oh, sorry, but yeah, they like Americans and people from the UK a little bit more because first of all, our world status. So like it's actually a little easier for us around the country, you know what I mean? So, I'm not gonna talk off your heads and stuff, but just saying, long time fan, 21 years old, I've been saving up money. And you know what? I got one question for your international passport. I've been saving up a lot of money, and instead of buying a car, you think I should travel first or buy this car?
I think don't buy the car. If you don't need the car, don't buy it. What you should do, because no one can travel at the moment. I'd say we're not traveling until the summertime, probably July, August. Use that money to invest in stocks and crypto.
All right, thanks, bro.
Double your money with the money you have. Don't buy a car. A car is a depreciating asset unless you really need that car to actually go to work and travel, and you live in some countryside place where there's no buses or trains. If you live in an area where there's trains and buses and you can get to work by walking or public transportation, don't buy a car. Save that money, get your passport, yeah, and invest in stocks and crypto to double, triple your money over time. Yeah, don't buy a car. That's my opinion.
All right.
Saichi, what were you saying? Yeah, carry on with that because yeah, like I was saying, right, these countries that are international, you don't need this athlete clout and all that stuff. Which is why I encourage my Black American brothers to get their passports. I know what's going there. If you're not a very tall brother, if you don't have game, if you're a dude who watches anime, read his manga, a lot of women won't be checking for you because you don't fit that stereotypical black dude, right? But when you go to Germany and all these countries, they don't care if you watch anime or read manga or you're not 6'5", 6'7". They don't care about that. And a lot of brothers are being depressed due to these high dating requirements. How do you feel about that, Sauchi and Mr. International?
Luckily for me, thank God I found the gym because I was kind of in that boat for a while. But once I started getting to a certain level and I started to look good, obviously you got to keep the waist tight, keep the diet good. Like I said, luckily I came out at 6'1" and I have a good enough face. I weigh like 208 right now. I'm pretty lean. But like if I throw on a tank top, I'm in a good boat and I'll get attention. But like I said, and I think somebody mentioned in here with the whole stigma and whatnot, I do feel as though, and personally, like I'm not like super liberal, democratic and whatnot. So I'm not like overly sensitive, but at the same time, I do feel as though with America's history personally, If you even go back to like the slave days, right? There was a very big notion where Black men have always kind of been somewhat dick policed, if you will. And if you really look back at things like, how do I put it? White men always kind of had the advantage because they had the status advantage, right? Usually, just occupationally speaking in society, they tend to do the best professionally, and they also have the status of being white. But Black men do have qualities and traits that are intrinsic and unique and make them a viable asset to women. They just kind of stand out in a different way. However, there still is a stigma in America of being with you to a certain degree. Whereas it seems like when you go out to these European countries, you go out to Japan, the Philippines, Colombia, it's a lot easier to kind of make things work and sort of pull. And it's not because we're unattractive per se, but I do notice a lot of girls kind of think to themselves, at least from my experience, like I'm attracted to them, but would I ever be seen out in public with them, or would I ever bring them home to my parents? That's a big thing.
Hey, Master the Passport, I want to say something real quick. So, listen, I'm like, I would say, haven't got it on the scale for a minute, but when I was in trade school and high school, like I was a gym rat, and also, even though I never made the varsity team, even myself, because I didn't try out for it, I was too busy in the hood, being distracted, smoking weed and all that. That's what the type of guy I am. I still drink and smoke, but that's besides the fact. I'm 5'11", 235, and you know, uh, the guys that are tip top shapes, like even you, bro. You say you're 6'1", 2 something. You know what I mean?
208.
Yeah. If I was 6'1", 208, you know what I mean. Right now, my build, I probably would be a 10 out of 10. You say, what would you rate yourself? From how you talk, I would say you're like a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, because you wasn't a jock or something. Am I correct?
I've had a snow bunny last year tell me that I was a 7, if that helps you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I didn't ask her to rate me. She just told me that I was a 7.
But yeah, the Matrix is crazy, man. I'm gonna use the word the Matrix because that's a good word. But like even I tell y'all something, and this is YouTube, and I want my man International Passport to keep going up. Man, there's some girls that I'm messing with right now. They only mess with me, for what I got, not because of me, you know what I mean? But I don't let them stay too long because you don't want to be a simp. Why would I let them keep using me when I could just go overseas? You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, man. Just what I say is, just like my man one master teacher when he was coming down. Y'all look him up who I'm talking about. If y'all know who I'm talking about, y'all know who I'm talking about. But yeah, he coming down here, man, and he met up with one of these feminists. I don't even know why I bring her up because man, I don't want her spamming me or whatever because them girls be going too hard. But yeah, it's all about the person. You go down to Vegas, man, it's just like anywhere else in the world. Vegas one night stands, that. There's certain places in the Matrix where it's a glitch,
Yep.
So there's still some good places in the Matrix, but it's nothing compared to overseas, you know what I mean? And that's the goal. That's the goal.
Brother, you are right about there being good places in the Matrix because I went to Miami twice, and I'm not really into Spanish girls, but when I went to Miami, it was Spanish girl heaven out there. Colombians, Brazilians, Puerto Ricans, everything, man. But it was just the thing was the language barrier. I wish I could speak Spanish, but I had my Google Translate and everything, and it did the job. But yeah, Miami definitely want to hit up there. But anyway, before I let the next person speak, I have to dip out of the panel. So it was nice talking and building with y'all. And I want to say peace, and I'll see y'all later.
Yo, take it easy, LTMP. Appreciate you contributing to the panel. Take it easy, bro.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm gonna just say one more thing, I feel like our time is up next for UK and African Americans. Cause man, just watching your show for a long time, and you telling us, man, they're checking for us, man, and all we gotta do is take care of ourselves and shoot. It's like we got a golden ticket, if you present yourself as a decent human being, you know what I mean. The gates are ballistic. And you know, this is the reason why I believe it, and I'm gonna leave it at this. This guy said he was in Miami, right? I'm from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. You look it up, man. Man, there is straight island girls out here. You're like, man, it's cold up in Pennsylvania, blah blah blah, man. There's island girls up here. I grew up in. That's why I'm interested in traveling, going to Colombia, Brazil, and all that. Because man, let's just talk about South American girls, man. I'm talking about they came straight off the boat, and I dated a few of them. It doesn't get better than that. And you get a good wifey material, you can't knock that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Where are you from, Mr. International?
I'm from America,
No,
Lancaster,
no.
Pennsylvania, not too far from the Maryland border, not too far from Philadelphia, not too Lancaster,
Okay, I
Pennsylvania.
see. So the DMV area, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Hey, we've lost you, Mr. International. Your mic's a bit off. All right, we'll come back to you. So I'm gonna end the stream in 10 to 20 minutes. So yeah, you guys, the panel has been great. Appreciate the intel that everyone's given. Before we end it, let's talk about the last topic. Jay-Z versus Nas. Who you guys going for? So recently, right, there's that new Fred Hansen film that came out last week. Apparently it's good. I need to check it out myself. There's a song with Nipsey Hussle and Jay-Z, and apparently now Jay-Z is better than Nas and all that stuff. What do you guys think? Who's better out of Nas and Jay-Z? Who's the true GOAT?
I'm gonna have to cast my vote in for Jay-Z, to be honest.
Why is that?
I almost forgot about this whole situation. For me personally, I'm just more used to growing and hearing him, so I'm a bit biased, which is the reason why. I'm not as exposed to Nas, so I don't really have a good logical explanation. I just kind of have to go with him because I'm more used to it.
My fault, man. My Apple headphones started going off, and my audio went to my Apple headphones instead of.
Hey, your audio's
my phone.
off, Mr. International. Can you fix that? No one can hear you. Carbon now says that audio's not working. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we hear
Yes.
you.
So we were talking about Nas versus Jay-Z. Who you guys going for? Is it Nas? Is it Jay-Z? Saichi says Jay-Z. I don't know about that, to be honest, man. I feel like Nas has more classics than Jay-Z. I feel like Nas is a better rapper. Flow-wise, based on flow, wordplay, I may give it to Jay, but Nas, straight classics, Illmatic, The Lost Tapes, It Was Written, Life Is Good. Come on, man. Hey, what do you feel about that, El Selector?
Personally, I would have to say, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. I'm gonna have to say Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z has a better discography, or he has a better body of work. Like, he has put out a countless amount of classics, from Kingdom Come to Hard Knock, Volume 2 to Magna Carta, to the Reasonable Doubts, to he's had like just countless amount, of the Black Album, countless amount of classic hip hop albums. So I'd say Jay-Z is the better. He is better, and he's had the. I think he's had the. His music aged much better than Nas's music. Like Nas's songs, some of those songs it sounds like of the times he was in. Where Jay-Z songs you can actually play. It doesn't matter the times you're in. You get where I'm coming from. I'm not saying Nas's music you can play, like you can't play it today, but like that Illmatic album, like it's a classic album. It's a classic hip hop album. But as far as like that album is a classic, but it just doesn't age. It doesn't sound. It sounds like of its time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Good points, Mr. International. In your opinion, who's better, Nas or Jay-Z?
Can you hear me? Check 1 2.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All
I can
right,
hear you.
there we go. Finally, man. Jay-Z, no doubt. Just reason why, because like I said, man, I'm not gonna say I'm from Chicago or anything, but I'm from a bad part, and I know when I hear a real street rapper, and Jay-Z is a real street rapper. Nas is a lyricist, and they're both pretty good. But Jay-Z is more relatable to me. Just he's a little more street, and I can just tell just the way he raps, his bars and lyrics. So I'm picking Jay-Z.
Yo, okay, guys, who's in the chat right now? Press 1 for Nas, press 2 for Jay-Z. Let's get this over with. Nas versus Jay-Z. Who's a better rapper? Two legends.
Both of them are pretty good, bro.
Nas got a crazy flow, Illmatic. It was written. The Lost Tapes, you know. 1 for Nas, 2 for Jay-Z. Who's better? Sir Brucey, call in, Sir Brucey. I've got one. Sachi, yeah, mute your mic. It's making a lot of noise. Mute your mic, Mr. International. We got Nas.
I got you, bro. I'm muted.
Oh, keep it coming, guys. Nas versus Jay-Z. Call in, guys. I'm gonna end the call in 10 minutes. So if you want to call in now, asking any questions, let us know. We've got 4 guys on the panel, 4 intelligent brothers in the panel right now, dropping mad game for you brothers. And again, hit the like button. If you're new to the stream, hit that like button. Don't mess us around, man. Like, we out here giving you guys free intel. A lot of brothers out there are keeping the intel to themselves, being selfish, telling you guys, don't get your passports. Women out there are not checking for you. That's wrong.
They're lying. Them guys are lying, man.
They're lying, man. They're lying. I'm telling you. We're giving you guys free game, right? Hit the like button. Don't play us around.
Hey, international
listen,
passport. I'm gonna step out real quick, and I feel like somebody's about to ask me something, so you can ask me something after I say this. But yeah, I'm about to step out. It's nice for you having me. And listen, man, like I said, a young black 21-year-old man. I hope to be one of the staples that put us over the barrier, and that's for all colors, all men, young or older. Just travel, man. But yeah, did somebody have a question for me?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I was gonna ask you, like, how far are you from? How far are you from Philly? Are you like close to Allentown and stuff?
I'm close to York, Pennsylvania, Red Lion, those type of areas. I'm close to I'm like on the border of Pennsylvania and Maryland.
Okay. Because yeah, I was out there, so I was just trying to figure out. I'm like, Lancaster. I know I heard of that area, but I was just trying to figure out where. Like, is that close to Allentown? But yeah, I was driving through Pennsylvania, so that's what I was asking. Like a couple years ago. Yeah.
All right, Mr. International, I appreciate you joining the panel, and I'll have more live streams in the future. So feel free to call in, ask any questions about traveling, and take it easy, bro.
All right, peace out, man. Represent for the 717, like I said, man. Pretty close to the border. Peace out.
All right, take it easy, bro. We have the Sideshow that joined the panel. What's up, Sideshow? Introduce yourself, how you found my channel, and tell us the countries you've been to and the type of woman that choose you in those countries. Go on, mate.
What's up, y'all? This is the Sideshow, and I found your channel through, actually, it was in a recommended video from one Master Teacher's videos, I believe. And what countries have I been to? Actually, I'm a pretty new traveler, technically. I got my passport literally for the first time during the pandemic last year, but I'm in Mexico right now.
Ooh.
And yeah, so I was in San Diego, and I was like, it was actually for the US, I'd probably say San Diego might probably be, if you must be in the US, besides maybe Seattle also. That's probably one of the best places you could be, especially as a young black man. But I decided to go a bit further south, and now I'm down here in Mexico. And I guess the best way I could put it is you definitely don't hurt for options down here. That's for doggone sure. So
damn. Okay. Wow. Okay. Where in Mexico are you? Are you in the capital? And tell us your experience with Mexican women. Are they checking for brothers out there heavily in Mexico? That's what the brothers in the chat want to know.
Okay. So at first I started just down in TJ, but which is Tijuana. But then I went down further to Rosarito, and then I went down to Guadalajara, and I was down there for about, I'll probably say 2 weeks to a month. And as far as if they're checking for you, I would just put this out here right now. Now they definitely do for sure, but if you don't know any Spanish, it's kind of like Colombia a little bit from what I hear. I haven't been to Colombia, but if you don't know any Spanish at all, you might struggle a little bit, but the dating apps are definitely your friend down here. If you know at least, basic Spanish, that'll go a lot further for you. And yeah, man, this is really good. Like, they're very hospitable, very friendly, very, very feminine, especially compared to American women.
Damn. Okay, so what place specifically, what city specifically in Mexico did you get more play? First question. And I know Mexico is consisted of, the Caucasian race and the is it indigenous people? Can't say it properly, sorry guys. And the mixed race people that have brown skin. Which one of them are giving most plays to brothers?
Okay, so I would say definitely the further south you go, because like I'm now back up in Tijuana.
Hey, Sai, wait, hold up. Sai,
Sorry about that.
Put yourself
Yeah.
on mute.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm back up in Tijuana because I got some stuff in San Diego I gotta handle and stuff again. But the further south you go, the better, definitely. So I'll probably say once you go about I want to say about an hour south of here, it automatically starts to change, like drastically. And I'd even go as far to say, and I've got a Mexican friend, he's my barber up here, and he said it's straight like Tijuana. Yeah, you're basically in Mexico, but you're really dealing with more Americanized Mexicans who live here, because a lot of them also live in San Diego. So the further south you go, the better. Now, the further south I've ever been is Guadalajara, but I've talked to friends and stuff, seen videos and things of brothers that have been down to like Mexico City. I've heard both crazy, good and bad things about Mexico City because it's like so big. But like once you go even further south of there, like Merida, which is all the way towards Cancun, I've heard great things. What other cities? I've even heard of this one cat that I see on YouTube who went down to Oaxaca, which is way, way down. That's north, more towards Belize. So I would go as far as say all of them. And I haven't even been all the way down there yet. So I would, say all of Mexico is, pretty good. And what else did you ask me besides that?
So I asked you, so Mexico has different races there. You got the white race there. You have
Oh yeah.
indigenous race there, and the mixture of white and indigenous people. What race of women give you the most play in Mexico?
Well, I was just man, I don't want to say this. So once you go more south of Tijuana, more south of the northern Mexican cities, they're automatically going to be checking. You might, in fact, a lot of them will just straight up come up to you and start talking because they don't see that many Americans in general, but especially like a Black American or a Black Canadian, Black British, especially if like with your accent, definitely they might even actually, since a lot of them don't know English, your accent may actually work against you a little bit if you don't know any Spanish. But as long as you're pretty much, non-Afro Latino, they'll automatically be checking for you. And as far as which ones, whether light or dark, it doesn't even matter, bro. It's just all of them. That's the best way I could put it. All of them. So yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
So I actually wanted to ask you this as well, international passport, but our friend here is talking about his experiences in Mexico. I want to know, do you notice that these women in Mexico treat you noticeably better than a lot of women have in America from your experience?
Definitely. Yeah. I would even say, as far even just being a stranger, even if you don't want to talk about dating or, affectionate or lustful interactions, they're way Mexicans as national people are way more friendly, way more down to earth. Even up here in Tijuana, where it's a bit more American-ish. You know, you might have some Mexicans that still drive BMWs and Benzes, but the difference is a good example I could use to describe it is, you know, you might see a Mexican woman who might have a wealthy husband or a husband that makes enough for her to drive a Benz or BMW, but when she gets out the car and you see her getting the groceries, it'll still be from the local food market. She'll still be dressed in like normal clothes, so they stay humble despite their, you know, financial advances. Is not a materialistic country at all, so that alone makes them very humble, very down to earth people to deal with, especially the women. It's
So they're not as
similar.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, when I was in Seattle, I hung around my Brazilian friends a lot. And you know, I dated with some Brazilian women as well, but it's similar to Brazilian women. I'll say Brazilian women have a bit more of a like a natural promiscuous like air to them, if that makes sense.
I
But
heard that.
yeah, but it's similar to Brazilian women, but that's how I would describe it.
Hold up. So, are you saying that in Seattle, the women there in Seattle are checking heavy for brothers? Is that what you're saying? The sideshow.
Brazil, specifically, are you talking about all women?
I'm talking about women. Yeah, all women. Yeah, are they checking for? I mean, good-looking, feminine, slim, thick, you know, fitness woman. Are they checking for brothers in Seattle that much? Because I'm hearing a lot of things about Seattle, how it's a good spot for brothers. What's your opinion about Seattle, the sideshow?
Oh man, I could talk to you about Seattle for a long time. I went to college and lived there for some years, so it's kind of a, how do I want to say, it's a bittersweet thing with Seattle. So yeah, I'll put it to you this way: as just being black in Seattle won't be enough to, especially when I talk about the top tier of women up
Hey,
there.
side chief, put yourself on mute.
My fault.
Yeah,
Okay, carry on,
just
Sideshow.
being black won't be enough to just have women checking for you in Seattle. In fact, a lot of the simps, and this was even in 2018, 2019, a lot of the simps kind of ruined it up there for men in general. So even if and I was one of them, so you know, for reference, I'm tall and decent shape. I've got 6-pack abs. I'm 6'2", so I never really hurt for options in Seattle, but it got to a point where especially in the nightlife, I feel like in the nightlife, if you know basic dance moves and shit, and you don't just stand in one spot when you're partying in Seattle, you'll never hurt for options. It's a black man, and in fact, one of my best nights up there was when I pulled some white chicks from Vancouver, which on your channel I know you've talked about. I pulled some chicks from a bachelorette party up there, and all I did was go up and interact with them. So you can have some really good, definitely some good options in Seattle, but you can't just be some, you know, normal dude. You got to put in the effort, and you may or may not have to, you know, have a little bit of swag on top of that, because you got a lot of dudes up there, especially the tech dudes with money, that just pretty much just flood women with affection and attention up there. They even try to buy their attention financially. So they're kind of ruining the game for everyone in the long run. But I would say that I would personally, I messed with more non-American women when I was up in Seattle, because I went to the University of Washington, so I dated a lot of Korean and Japanese women when I was up there, and then of course the Brazilians that my friends hooked me up with.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. Okay, I know a lot of brothers recently are, you know, stating their attraction for Asian women, specifically Korean, Japanese, perhaps some Chinese. Tell us more about the Japanese and Korean women you dated, and would you say that, you know, based on your experiences, they are checking for brothers heavy, particularly Japanese and Korean women?
Okay, so well, this is my I guess I'll say this too. So, in Seattle, I learned, well, I call them the big three: Korean, Japanese, and Chinese. And then you got Southeast Asian, but they're kind of a different breed. But as far as Japanese, Chinese, Korean goes, the first one I'll put at the top, as far as black men goes, would definitely be Korean. Definitely. They've got, how do I want to say it? I've met Korean chicks and up there that like rap lyrics to rap songs like better than some like black women do that I've been with in the past. They're very, very, very immersed in American culture. And what is K-pop? K-pop is pretty much like thousands hip hop culture. That's the origins of it, at least. It's thousands hip hop culture. So even the Korean men will be not checking for you. It's like, attracted to you, but they'll be looking to link up with you socially. They're very, definitely very
we're not
immersed into the
talking about
culture.
that kind of stuff on my channel. I mean, you mean
Yeah.
like friends. I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're just and especially if you're going, I would even go as far as say as a black man, if you're in college or something, you've got, let's just say as long as it's not too expensive, you got the chance to go to college in Northwest period, but especially Seattle is one of the best places to go because the Asians, they almost look up to you like in a mentorship type of way. Because when my Korean friends would like see me talking like to different women or other just socializing, they'll always come to me for social advice because Koreans are also very socially awkward. So you got that working for you too. On top of that, you don't.
The woman, right? Korean, I mean, Japanese women, like, I know Big Task, Afand wants to know a lot more about Japanese women. Would you say he should go to Seattle to meet Korean and Japanese women and speak more about Japanese women as well? Because I feel like brothers are more attracted to Japanese women than Korean. But you're saying Korean women are checking more for brothers, which is a surprise to me, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Well, okay, so now let me put a caveat on it. That's why I said it like that's why I laid the foundation out like that. Korean women are more upfront. They're more Western. They're more they're not afraid more so to kind of like almost I would almost put them somewhere in between like Latinas and white chicks as far as like how they approach you when they're attracted and how they dress and everything is just very different. You can find some Korean chicks that like fuck with Nikes and all that, but Japanese women, they're just as attractive if not more, but they're very, very shy. Like it's almost like they're a bit shy to even let you know they're attracted. So you have to be not direct because you might scare them off. That's East Asian women in general, but you kind of got to let them know. Like an example, the favorite thing I used to do was I look at them a lot. So I'll like talk to one of their friends or something, and then I'll look at them and smile, and I'll just keep making eye contact. And if I see they give that back, then you approach them. The Japanese women are a lot more. Don't get it twisted. It's not they're not as freaky or nothing. They definitely are, but they don't show that. You got to kind of go take it a bit slower with them. And you kind of have to, I would say they're not easy to start with if you're a man in general and you don't have that much experience with women or, approaching or talking with them in person. Japanese women can be a bit harder because you have to be in the driver's seat with them. They're not like Korean chicks where they'll kind of meet you in the middle and be a bit more outgoing. Japanese women, they want you to do the whole nine. They want you to do the talking, the approaching, where to take them, how to progress, everything. But they definitely are more. I prefer Japanese to Korean though in the long run because they're more feminine. Definitely more feminine. They're more kind of go with the flow type women, and they're just more womanly women. Korean women have a little bit of masculinity to them because of the American like pop culture and stuff that they come from. And
we
then
don't want that. If it's got a Japanese woman for brothers, then we don't want no masculine woman, man. We want
now
woman, 100%.
Definitely. Yeah. Now, if you just trying, let's get some fun in, Korean women will be better for that because you can do it faster and they are more outgoing. But if you're talking about you want like more of a good feminine experience with a woman, definitely Japanese. And as far as Chinese goes, that's the one type of Asian woman that I never really had that much luck with. I mean, I've done approaching, I've done online. I've had some friends up there try to hook me up with Chinese women. I would even go as far as say that I think that most Chinese, from my experience in Seattle, most Chinese women just aren't really checking for black men all like that. I've heard different things about different regions of Chinese women, like more south town towards Guangzhou or something like that, down by Taiwan. But Chinese women, they just don't. they just, it's just something about them. I guess they're a bit more cold. They're a bit more. I feel like a lot of them are kind of stuck in that little bit in the level up category. Like they want my Asian friends, that Chinese woman, kind of like if you don't have certain resources and shit, even if they're attractive, they don't really mess with you. Which I don't know is true, but I never really mess with Chinese all like that. But now Taiwanese, I have had a mess a couple times with Taiwanese girls. They're very different than Chinese, but Chinese, I can't really speak to you about that one because I don't have much luck. So that's what I would say about those three.
That's what's up. What about you said Southeast Asian woman? You want
Yeah.
to break that down for us? And which demographic of Southeast Asian women have been checking for you mostly, and let's say brothers in general, and all that stuff?
Oh man, that's easy. Definitely Filipino women. In fact, if you want to talk about the demographic of Asian women that you actually see black men like with in relationships and even kids in the Northwest, especially South Seattle, is all Filipino. Almost, it's pretty much all Filipino. Like once you go south of Seattle towards Tacoma, like in between South Seattle and I want to say Tacoma, like from Auburn down. It's a city called Auburn in Kent. It's like a bit south of Seattle. You just see black men with Filipinos and Filipinos. So it's definitely that. The non-Asian, culturally Asian, not demographically, chick that was Asian in Seattle was that was checking for me the hardest was also a Filipino, but I was kind of hesitant towards her because she was one of those that wore like the hoop earrings and the Jordans and stuff. So you know where that's going. So yeah. But she was Filipino. And also it was another one that at my gym up in Seattle we used to talk all the time, and she was bad. Like she showed me her DMs on Instagram, and she was like scrolling through them. She had to scroll like 5 times just to get through the DMs. But she was, checking for me, and we were talking, and she was Filipino. So definitely Filipino. And also my homeboy is engaged to a Filipino, by the way. He's 28. So that's another thing, going for Filipinos. And but that's the only thing I can speak of. I've ran into some Thai women in Seattle and Vietnamese. They're also pretty chill, but I've never really had a chance to really interact with them like that. I can't really say if they're checking for us all like that, but I've heard good things.
All right, awesome. All right, thanks for that intel, bro. Sai, Saichi, and El Selector, do you have any questions for the sideshow? Because he's dropped mad intel about Asian women so far in the live stream.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
Sai should go first, and after that, El Selector go after.
All right, so I've only had an experience with one, and she was actually fresh out the boat from Taiwan. When it was my turn.
Hey, what's up with your background, Sai? Like, carry on.
That wasn't me. That was somebody else.
Was that you, the sideshow?
I don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, that wasn't me though. So I was like, who's that? But anyways, so I've had one experience with one girl who was from Taiwan, like fresh off the boat. Like she had the accent and everything. But after that, I've never actually had many experiences with them. And like, if the opportunity came, I'd be like totally down. But I would like to know from your experience, assuming that you can still hear me.
I can hear you. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So what were you saying? You someone from Taiwan fresh off the boat?
Yeah, I've only experienced one, and from my experience with her, I definitely noticed, unlike a lot of American women, definitely didn't. I noticed a lot of American women definitely tend to overvalue themselves. A lot of them do tend to have a sense of I don't really have to contribute much, and I get the luxury of being able to expect as much as I want to. Whereas it seemed like with her from this experience, and obviously it was just one experience, but I would say honestly, out of all the girls that I've ever been involved with, she probably has treated me the best out of any girl that I've been with to this day, to be completely real. Do you notice from your experiences with them that they kind of similar to what I asked you about Latinas, did they treat you any noticeably better than a lot of American women? Sorry, I have the hiccups.
So you're saying Taiwanese strictly?
No, just like Asian in general.
Asian in general. Oh, okay. So I'll say this first and foremost: when you're dealing with an Asian woman in the States, regardless of which Asian country she comes from, if she's been here for like 6 months to a year or more, she's automatically starting to kind of get that, especially if she's on the date scene, she's automatically kind of getting the tendrils, so to speak, of the American ways kind of already infecting her, quote unquote, to say. But
Disease, yeah.
yeah. Now, as far as Taiwanese goes, I've only dealt with one Taiwanese woman in Taiwan, but Taiwanese people in general are very friendly from my experience in Seattle. Like every time I ran into a Taiwanese person, in fact, only one of the few times, that's the only type of Asian where I've been to a bar, I've been invited over to like sit with them. It was a Taiwanese group of people. They're very friendly, very chill. As far as Asian women, East Asian women in general treat you better, definitely. But you kind of got to look out, especially Korean would be a good example of this. You got to look out for the type of Asian women that are into you just because you're black, and you will run into that. You'll run into some of them that's like they'll be wearing Jordans and like telling you about basketball and this and this, and that's cool and all, that's cool and all, but you got to make sure if they're into all that, but they're also fucking with you just because they like you, that's cool. But I've even met some Japanese women. Like I remember when I first talked to them, and I was up in Seattle, she showed me her phone, her music library, and it was just a bunch of rap and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what this is. But even despite that, she was still feminine, and like it wasn't about my money. It wasn't about, me having to prove myself. We just legit vibe, So I would say definitely just kind of be wary of what they like you for, and if they're that type of Asian chick, because don't get it twisted. They're feminine and stuff, but I will say this: Asian women are just as, if not more, conniving than even white women, because they know how to turn on their femininity. Very, very good. Like it's almost blinding. If you're not red pilling anything at all, you'll completely miss it. So they know what they're doing, but just don't be blind to what they do just because they're friendly and feminine to you, because they get most guys that way. And I don't want to say this. And again, just be wary of why they're into you, not more so.
I believe that.
Yeah. But yeah, they treat me better for sure. It's not even a contest.
That's all I had to ask.
L Selector, ask your question.
Yeah, I just had a question. I just wanted to know, like, currently you're out in Mexico, right? What's the vibe like out there currently? Because I've heard a lot of people are out there, and like, what are you seeing right now? And also, how long you plan on staying out there?
Okay, sure. So I'm in Tijuana right now, and I was down towards Guadalajara. That city is a lot more true. I don't want to say true Mexican, but it's more. It's not close to the border, so it's more like working folks. More. It's a big city with lots of different things to do, but with COVID stuff was still kind of down packed a little bit on the reserve. But it's not like how it is in America, where it almost feels kind of dystopian a little bit in most of major American cities because of COVID. Because I'm in TJ now, and the bars are open, the clubs are open, the stores, the mom and pop shops are opening back up. Valentine's Day, I was here, and like people were out and about and doing their thing. So I even saw some people dancing in some of the clubs and stuff. So it's the vibe is good, I would say.
Yeah. So would you like advise guys to come out and like enjoy themselves, because it's very limited where you can go currently? So is that like a spot that a lot of guys should head out to if they're thinking about traveling? Because I haven't really seen any videos or anything on Tijuana in particular, like especially for many black dudes. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, is that like a hot spot? Because we don't know how long this is going to last, right? So it's important that we kind of have an idea of what locations we can go to that are open and that people are thriving, black men are thriving.
Okay. I would definitely recommend Mexico for like a spot for an American to come to, for sure. After all, I'm here. But Out for as far as Tijuana specifically, probably not me personally, not so much. I would prefer more. I would either like if you're looking to party, then Cancun for sure. If you're looking to do all that and like enjoy some good vibes, I would say Cancun if you want to be a bit hipster about it and you think Cancun is a bit too touristy, which I've heard some Americans say. Merida is a good alternative to that. Or just go, or even go further inland if you want to, if you're more on the culture tip and not so much on the game tip. But as far as the women go, remember, regardless, you want to learn some Spanish, it's almost required. I know some YouTubers, Flyboy Way, by the way, shout out to him. He does some good content on Cancun and different areas in Mexico. And what's his name? SPL Lifestyle, I think, on YouTube. He covered Mexico for a little bit also. They're both brothers. But it's I know some people have said you don't need quote unquote Spanish for Mexico, but I think that's kind of a myth because even here in Tijuana, right? Like, I'm about 40 minutes from the border now, and you still 80% of Mexicans here don't know English. So if you're gonna come here, you probably, if you want to do the whole tour, I'll probably say at least learn some basic Spanish. But I would definitely recommend it.
All right, awesome. Thanks for the intel. Big task. Honestly, down to the last 10 minutes. It's late down here in the UK. So can you answer the question from Big Task? What about the Afro Latinas in Mexico? Citizen Lou, I will get to you afterwards, and after that, I'm going to close the stream. So carry on, Big Task. Answer, if you can answer his question, Sideshow, about Afro Latinos in Mexico.
Okay, sure. I'll keep it real with you, Big Task. I didn't necessarily come to Mexico, check in for Black women all like that. But also, honestly, I don't see them that much. It's kind of hard now. You see just a lot of African women down here. There are, but they're they only speak Spanish and French. I don't know where they're from, but there's a lot of French speaking Africans down here, and I asked my Mexican friend about it. He said he doesn't know what country either. I'm assuming it's somewhere in Western Africa, but I don't know. You see more of them than Afro Latinas, like African descendant Mexicans or Central Americans. You see more Africans down here because they're asylum seekers. So you see a lot of them down here than Afro Latinas. I've rarely encountered Afro Latinas down here. And when I did, they weren't really checking for me like that at all.
All right, that's what's up. Appreciate that intel. The Sideshow. We have Citizen Lou in the panel, last guy in the live stream. Introduce yourself, bro. How you found my channel and countries you've been to. What women give you the most play, and any questions you want to ask any of us, let us know. So go on.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me, bro? Is my mic good?
Speak a bit louder.
You said louder? Is this better?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I got your I saw your channel. You were talking about Spain and stuff like that. Like black men moving to Spain. So that's how I subscribed. And yeah, man. I actually lived in Mexico for 2 years, and I heard it just popped up on my stream, and I heard you guys talking about TJ. So I did kind of want to just say a little bit, but my next country next month, I'm going to Colombia, Medellin. And also, I hate to shameless plug, but I also teach Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was, what part of TJ are you in, Sideshow?
Oh man, I'm I don't know the neighborhood actually. I'm about you can actually walk to Central from here about 40 minutes. Like if you were to walk it 40 minutes, driving about 5-10 minutes, about southwest of Central.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You have any questions, Citizen Lou?
International. Where you at? You said you're in UK?
Yeah, I'm in the UK. Yeah.
Is Spain locked down?
Spain is in lockdown, I believe. Yes. We're also on lockdown too, so we can't travel anywhere at all. I personally feel like it will be summertime until we can travel fully. So right now I'm planning my next steps as to where to travel to next. And of course, I will be dropping a lot of intel for you brothers as to the women in that country, and if you should move there too. So I'm looking forward to it. I miss traveling, I miss meeting foreign women and all that stuff. It's
Hey,
getting a bit tiring being in the house all day. I need to get out. I need to travel. So can't wait for that.
hey, what are
Yeah.
your top countries international?
Sorry.
What the countries you've been to? What would you say are your top in Europe?
Or in Europe, easily Germany. I'm telling you, right? If you are an American brother, Germany is a hotspot for American brothers and UK brothers too, because they're thinking, what? You're from the UK, and normally we meet American brothers, but if you're an American brother, you will eat in Germany. And the thing about Germany is that it's not just the capital Berlin that you eat in. You will eat in Hamburg, Stuttgart, Dusseldorf, all these other cities in Germany. You will eat as an American brother. It's a fact. Head down to Germany. If Europe is your first destination, head down to Germany. I'm telling you, I will keep telling you, brothers, to go to Germany because it is a hotspot for brothers. Especially American brothers. If you're an American brother who has dreads, if you're even from Jamaica as well, you will get more attention. But when I went to Germany, they had some Caribbean festival there, and the women that I saw with the brothers were top notch. They were top notch. I was thinking, what? Like, and it was like minimum eights. You got eights, nine, tens, good looking, fitness chicks. You can tell they work out, and they are checking heavy for brothers. I was walking down the streets, I would see brothers with dime women. And I knew they were American. It was very, very, very easy for me to know they were American. So definitely Germany, without a doubt.
Interesting.
A German dude told me that he said his girlfriend left him for a black dude.
I was talking to a Polish guy back in North Carolina that told me that Polish women were check for black men hard.
Yeah.
Her
So
Croatia.
yeah, a lot of Polish. Go on, citizen. Go on.
My bad, bro. Is Croatia Eastern Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Croatia was hot for black dudes.
Yeah. I got a video on that. Yeah. Oh my god.
So international, I got a question. What would you say is what would you say is the best Eastern European country to go to? Like out of all of them, because I've heard a lot of great things about Eastern Europe, but not too sure exactly which is the hottest spot to go to.
Oh, okay. So I haven't been to every Eastern European country. So based on the ones I've been to, and based on the intel I've heard from other countries that I haven't been to, I would say Estonia, Croatia, definitely Croatia, Poland. I've heard very good stuff about Polish women, and also we have a lot of Polish women in the UK as well, and a lot of brothers go for them, and they're checking for brothers too in the UK. These Polish women, so that's a fact. Based on what I've seen, what I've heard, those top three Eastern European countries, which is Estonia, Croatia, Poland. If you're an American brother, you will scoop well. I will say this though, like, be careful where you go to, because Eastern Europe isn't as progressive and so-called liberal as Western Europe. You gotta be careful, right? A lot of guys will be jealous of you when they see you with a dime-looking chick. So you have to watch your back.
I believe that.
Yeah, I would say go with a group of people. Don't go to Eastern Europe by yourself. I say go with a group of people. You can go by yourself, but just be careful. Don't go to any shady places. Watch your drinks. Don't stay out too late, and you'll be fine. That's if you're going by yourself. But if you want to have a good time, go with a group of people.
Where would you rank Ukraine? Like, out of the Eastern European countries, is that because I don't know. From what I've seen a lot of hot Ukrainian women, but I've never got any information on the country itself.
I've heard about.
I dated a Ukrainian in Seattle.
What's the sideshow? Do you feel like Ukrainian women are checking for brothers?
Definitely. In fact, she barely knew any English, and she used Google Translate just to talk to me. Yeah, so that says something. If that answers your question.
Yeah, I've heard about Ukraine. I've heard some good stuff about Ukraine. That's on my list. The intel I've heard so far suggests that they're checking for brothers. So yeah, this El Selector, definitely those countries I told you, Ukraine as well.
Yo, international.
Too, I wanted to say about Mexico. If you a black dude, the best place to go in Mexico is Mexico City.
I heard.
Yeah, hands down. Because as a matter of fact, all majority of women that I did talk to in TJ when I lived there, they were from Mexico City. Because they just have like a more open-minded, cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
And there's a tons of Africans in Mexico. When I was in the airport, it was crazy. There was
I
tons
know,
of
man.
people coming in and out. Yeah,
So
I was shocked at all the Africans I saw down when I came down here. I was like, wow, like no one talks about that when about Mexico. It is a lot of Africans down here.
in
especially like there's Chinese people who don't speak English.
Mexican
That's
women,
crazy.
or are you referring to, like, let's say, tourists in Mexico City, Citizen Lou?
Say that again, brother. I'm sorry.
So in Mexico City, are you referring to Mexican women checking for brothers in that city,
Yeah.
or are you referring to tourists?
Because the city's so huge, man. It's like it's 30 million people in Mexico City, and they just have a better vibe in my experience. And I saw a Jamaican guy there. I saw an African dude, and they were with girls. So it's just kind of, it's so big, you know what I mean, that it's just you're gonna find something. And I just think they have a better mindset than say like Guadalajara, because Guadalajara is kind of like, it's not racist. I'm not gonna say that. It's just a bit more traditional.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like where you meet like people in a circle to meet people, but in Mexico City, you could definitely go to a club and like pull a chick.
Yeah.
A Mexican chick, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but it's funny too, man. They might not be Mexican. They might be Argentinian. You might run into anybody in Mexico City. But that's a good place for brothers if you're trying to, live cheap and do things. Mexico City's dope.
Yeah. Only thing keeping me from going down there is my lack of Spanish, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, you need Spanish. I'm not in front of flex. Right. Is he Morgan? If anybody else, or just me?
Yeah, that's him. Skynet's got you international.
Yeah. International Morgan, bro.
Yeah, international. I think you have an issue with your reception or something.
It's the white man trying to keep this information down.
They gotta shut this shit down. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be in Colombia next month, man.
Hey, man, what are some tips for learning Spanish you can pass on?
I'm glad you asked. Right. So, it's mindset first off, and then another thing too, just practice 5-10 minutes a day, because 1 minute of practice is better than 0 minutes of practice. How much time you put in is going to gauge whether but you and TJ, man. So you anybody in California, anybody in Florida, Texas has an opportunity to learn Spanish, but just just forcing yourself, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. Like you use Uber and TJ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely try to talk to the Uber drivers. On your way to locations, and try to order food. Talk to people. You got any neighbors?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, talk to them.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, bro.
Yeah, you're good now.
So I'm gonna end the stream now.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate having me on, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. International.
Always, man. Any question, guys, hit me up on my Twitter. Before you go, let me post my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. Any questions about traveling, future live streams, hit me up on Twitter or my Instagram account. Take it easy, guys. Be safe. I'll be doing more live streams in the future. Like I said, 2021 onwards, I want brothers to travel, get their passports, and of course, invest in stocks and crypto. Yesterday, I dropped a stream about stocks and crypto for brothers to watch and gain knowledge about. Yes, women are great, beautiful, dime, foreign women are amazing, but making sure your money is right, your life is right, you're investing right, you have good financial management are possibly even more important. So, brothers, take it easy, invest well. Uh, any questions, let me know on Twitter or Instagram. I'm going to sign out now, but take it easy. And I appreciate every single one of you in the panel. All right.
Peace.
Thank you.
All right, take it easy. Bye bye.